Last time, on Asmiliath adventures, a dark and icy storm crawls up the mountain as the Golden Hearts attempt to take a rest on the cold earth. This respite from bloodshed and traveling didn't last long, however, as the sky opened up and a heavy sleet and a patrol of gnolls encroached on the cliffs around them. Being woken up just in time by their skeletal companion Benny, the party prepare for a fight on the heights of the Hunter's Ridge Mountains. After a quick and violent skirmish, the Primal Patrol is left slaughtered in the snow as the hints of dawn creep over the horizon and the harsh storm begins to let up. Knowing another attempt at resting is worthless, our wet and victorious heroes trudge further up the path towards the Delirious Heights Fort. On their journey, they come across a perilous road that weaves back and forth up the final slope to the fort. Not only is it a hard climb, but it is also covered in more of the hyena-like beasts they had sparred with in the past. Wanting to avoid any more direct conflict, the party causes an avalanche to come crashing down the mountain, burying some of the ragged creatures beneath the cold rubble and distracting the rest. Taking this opportunity, our heroes sneak past their last obstacle before finding the frozen waterfall that they had been told holds a secret entrance. Making their way through the thick ice, our group finds the long unused entrance and slip inside, finally pleased to be out of the elements. As they discuss how to get past the two iron doors that bar their path, they meet a peculiar creature, Sparky Warts. It appears he had been left by his family to facilitate their escape from the fort, but from the looks of him that was long ago. He does finally find a use though as he opens up the door barring the party's passage and get them closer to their destination. We pick up as Benny enters the code to unlock the secret door in the wall, finally getting access to the fort's cellar. So, Benny has just kind of used his arrow, poking into the various holes that the secret stone door is set into. You hear a few mechanical kind of clicks coming from the wall itself as he kind of pushes the entrance in ever so slightly, and the hidden door that's kind of the stones bunched into a group slide down about halfway, leaving like a 2 or 3 foot hole in the wall that you can kind of crawl over into the room in front of you. He kind of like looks back towards you guys, looking into the room a little bit more, kind of shrugging, and then leaving it up to you guys kind of how you want to proceed. So you guys had mentioned last time that you might want to try and long rest. This would probably be the time to attempt that before actually getting into the fort proper, or you can proceed ahead, but it's however you guys want to kick us off.
Is everybody, Rolly and Jarek, are you guys tapped?
About 50-50, but no higher end stuff.
Because that's basically the important stuff.
Yeah, I've got some of my lower level stuff I can do, but it'll be a little iffy.
I think I got one more good fight in me.
I think it's okay if we rest here or attempt to rest. We can have Benny White, be our lookout again, and this time, hopefully nothing comes to kill us again. And we can each stay up with him, or we can just trust him to have our backs.
I agree with that. I think that presented with a good argument of maximizing our capabilities, he'll be willing to hold off for the necessary time for us to get a little bit of rest in.
So you guys are going to attempt a long rest?
Yeah. And if that requires the doors to be open, we can just stick the thing back in.
Okay.
How do you feel? How do you feel, Valerie?
I don't need a rest, but I also am not opposed to one.
Okay.
I'm not gonna argue.
So to have physical space, the portcullis has to be reopened, which is easy enough to do since Jarek, you still have the dog tag kind of coin thing you can slot back in. Kind of getting this across to Benny more or less. He's going to start sliding the stone hidden entrance back up into its position. Right before it actually kind of reaches its height and sliding back into place, you hear off in the distance kind of like a loud metal clattering noise, like a bunch of objects being spilt inwards, like into a room or something, hearing the echoes of it kind of drifting through the last like small hole before the door kind of seals shut. But Benny just kind of looks around, makes sure, like gives the stone a little like tug, and then leaves you guys to it. So you're going to open up the portcullis and attempt a long rest here.
Yes, and
Okay.
I would ask Benny to watch the key so that the little salamander thing doesn't rip it out and, I don't know, slice one of us in half.
Okay. So, go ahead, everyone give me stealth checks. If you're wearing heavy armor, ignore disadvantage. Just all give me a straight stealth. Okay. So, as the coin is returned back to the slot and the portcullis is pulled back up, everyone kind of finding different places to settle. Benny kind of positioning himself at the small entrance you guys had made in the ice of the waterfall, but he keeps periodically kind of glancing backwards to make sure that Sparky Wards is not messing with the coin. Sparky at this point has tried to. He currently is attempting to try and find a new place to store his bugs now that his previous storage bin is being taken up. So that's what he's kind of preoccupied with at the moment. Are any of you staying up on watch with him throughout the rest, or is everyone trying to rest?
My only question to that is, does it extend how long we have to rest to get a full rest?
Nah.
Okay. Then I'm fine with taking shifts as long as it doesn't impact, like, we have to stay here longer.
Okay. So, you guys want to do pairs of twos or one off?
We can probably just do one with Benny, because then that makes twos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying to make it easier, we could do two of you for the first half, two of you for the second half with Benny. So just it's less to handle.
Sure.
Okay. So how do you guys want to divide that up?
I'll take Rolly. He's got high perception.
I'll regale Valoran with stories of valor. Prepare him.
Okay. We'll have Thor and Rolly go first. Jarek and Valorant go second as far as staying up. So Thor and Rolly. I guess Rolly, if you want to, you can go ahead and roll perception with advantage. I'm assuming that's what you want to do, Thor. Okay.
Okay.
But as you guys settle in, listening out, looking around, general watch things. But, with the area that you're in now, there's really only like two places to really watch. So mostly you're just kind of listening to see if anything kind of piques your interest. After the first, so that's 17 plus anything?
Well, yeah, it's +5.
Okay, so 22?
Yeah.
Goddamn. Okay. So, after the first 30 minutes or so, and you guys begin to settle in, Benny has replaced one of the kind of cruder weapons you saw strapped to his back with Blood Cleaver after you had given to him the other day. He is now sat in front of the hole that you guys had created, and he's pulled Blood Cleaver out, and he's kind of holding it in one hand, looking at it, and you see his head I don't know, every other minute or so, kind of nod along a little bit, and then cock his head a little bit, almost like he's having a conversation, but no words being produced. But beside that, as you guys are resting in your various places, there isn't a lot of room to kind of settle in here, so it's a bit uncomfortable and not the ideal situation. You continue to hear every so often various noises coming from the other side of the stone wall that you guys had opened up and resealed. Familiar kind of gnoll cackling that you had heard in the fights in the mountain pass. You hear every so often. Once in a while there's a shuffle and a slam and things being moved around. With it being through the wall and various distances, it's hard to tell what it is and where it is, but there is distinctly living creatures beyond the wall somewhere in this mountain with you. But that's really all you would hear throughout your watch.
Okay.
Is there anything you guys wanted to do while you were sitting around?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
No, I'm good right now.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I do have something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would probably be sitting with Rolly. Rolly, what is he doing with the sword?
Well, if I had to guess, I would say he was talking to it.
That sword can talk?
Yes, it's, bloodthirsty little bastard. It's probably just trying to get its next meal.
That doesn't sound very friendly.
Well, not to the ones that he pokes with it, no, but... Benny!
Yes.
How are you doing today?
Well, it is currently nighttime, sir.
But yes, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing quite well. I am listening to quite the interesting tale.
Really? Would you share?
Well, it appears that this tool that you have passed on to me has been through quite a few warriors throughout the ages. It's been in quite a few corners of this world, and it's a little bit impatient, I think is the word.
Yeah, but you being already dead, you're quite patient yourself, wouldn't you say?
I think that is an apt assumption, but I think that this pairing will work quite well. Yes.
And just for my own curiosity, is it saying anything about poking any of us?
Oh, it doesn't seem to be too pleased with you, but everybody else seems fine.
Well, you can pass on my apologies. I'm doing the best a dwarf can, but and all that. But in any case, do let us know if you start feeling the urge to stick us with that thing, would you?
I will certainly make it aware. If I do have to stab you, where would you like to be stabbed?
Right in the leg, please.
Which leg, right or left? Do you favor one over the other?
The left one is fine, and the lower leg, please, not up high. That's many arteries there. So in the lower leg, and if you have to, but let's try not to do that, okay?
As he's looking at you and speaking, you hear you see his face kind of twitch a little bit to the side. He cranes his head down to the sword that he's still holding. He goes, "Oh yes, my left or your left?"
You pick. It's quite irrelevant.
Noted. And then he turns back to the sword.
Rolly, that sword just basically asked him how he wants to kill you. Are you sure we're okay giving that type of object to an undying being?
He didn't want to kill me, simply wanted to poke me in the leg. He's rather perturbed, I imagine, but we'll deal with this eventually.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
forthwith.
Sure we will have to deal with this eventually when he comes back somehow to kill us all.
I'm sure you're quite up to the task, big boy.
How can you kill something that doesn't die, Rolly?
Sounds like a question for the philosophers.
Yeah, I'm not one of those, so I don't know.
Probably with fire.
Well, maybe we'll have to try that. I have to find something with fire.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm rather tired.
Oh, you're tired, okay.
Okay. So as you guys wind down your conversation, I'm assuming you pass on to Valor and Jarek the watch, finding your own places to kind of rest and sleep, right?
Yes, I would like to have Carl. I would like to have him approach JD and kind of like those turtles when you see the turtle like slapping the face of the other turtle.
Okay.
I want him to essentially do that.
Okay. So, Jarek, as you're kind of like sprawled out backwards, you feel like a little like rock kind of digging into your spine, and it feels like you just got to sleep. Like you tossed and you turn and like shivered from the cold, and you're really just looking forward to hitting that like deep sleep. You feel like a light amount of pressure like on your chest, your eyes just like kind of barely opening before you just feel like a like just like slapping across your face multiple times.
I think Jarek would do the classic. What's that?
And then you would just see Carl.
Thanks, Carl. And I'll pick him up and set him down. Get up. And I'd go ahead and prestidigitate across my clothing to make it warm.
Mm-hmm.
And nudge Valoran awake and Valoran. Hey, do you want your clothes warmed up for the watch?
Why not?
And take a minute to warm him up as well, and that'll last for about an hour.
Okay. While you were doing this, I'm assuming Thor and Rolly, you've settled in to go to sleep. Sparky, who has, spent the majority of the night kind of like cleaning up, quote unquote, his area that he's lived in for so long. As he's seeing, you interact with Valoran, Sparky walks up to you, Jared, kind of like poking you on the thigh slightly.
Hey, yeah, what's up, Sparky?
He holds up what used to be some sort of like centipede-like insect, but it's been split in half. It's a little bit old and kind of crusty. More of the exoskeleton is left than anything on the actual inside. And he kind of holds that up between two of his small fingers, looks up at you. Trade bacon.
Sparky, we're so full up on bugs. I don't think that we could take any more inventory, but I think we could make trade of services if you'd like to offer your services in return for some food.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'll go over and kind of whisper over to Rolly, I'm sorry if this is your last one. And I'll stick my hand in his backpack and rummage around a little bit.
Okay. Get some bacon out, I'm assuming.
Yeah, instead of the whole sandwich, I'm just going to pull a piece of the bacon out of one of the sandwiches.
Okay.
And hand it to him.
Okay, so you hand him this. So this piece of bacon that comes out of the sandwich is like the size of Sparky Ward's chest, or like the entirety of his face. Like it's a slab of meat that is disproportionate to this poor fellow. And he eyes are wide as they can be. As he begins to kind of put his lips over the top of it, kind of salivating on it, not even really chewing or eating it, just kind of taking the flavor in. But his eyes are kind of locked with yours, and he goes, "Good trade."
I'm glad to hear that, Sparky. I look forward to your servitude.
Okay.
Wonderful. Yes. I think I'll take post up near the stone door.
Okay.
To keep an eye out on or an ear out on that one.
Gotcha. Do you guys want to assist each other with perception or do it individually?
Assist works fine.
Okay.
I'm pretty proficient, if that's...
Okay. So go ahead and roll with advantage then, Jarek. Okay. So as you settle in, Sparky now having a bit of food that probably surpasses any amount of food he's ever seen in his life, and it will certainly placate him for the time being. Benny's still staring at Bloodcleaver, positioned near the entrance near the waterfall. As Jarek, you kind of find your way to the hidden entrance to the north. You settle in, kind of letting the time pass. Again, hearing those various noises kind of coming across every so often. Maybe about an hour or two into your watch, as you're kind of getting comfortable in your position, and the edge of your hearing's kind of slipping a little bit as you're trying not to fall asleep again. You hear heavy footfalls very close to you. maybe like 20, 30 feet away. Again, it's muffled through the wall, so you're not incredibly sure what it is or where exactly it is, but you do hear it much closer than the other sounds you heard before. It seems to grow a little bit, and then you hear various things, drawers being opened, things being put down, wood being scraped against stone, and then the footsteps begin to vanish or grow fainter.
I'll lift my hand, wiggle it a little bit, and a spectral glove pops off, and cast Mage Hand and have it float over and shake Valoran a little bit on the shoulder.
Okay. So Valoran, you feel like a kind of gentle hand grabbing your shoulder, shaking you a little bit, grabbing your attention.
And Valoran, is like he just kind of swats at it, and just sort of nods his head.
I'll kind of hike a thumb to the door in motion for noises, trying to stay as quiet as possible, and just...
Valoran just nods again.
Hey, should we try and open it and see if there's anyone behind them? It sounded like they walked away.
Just leave it.
All right, well, I think we're going to have to be pretty prepared to do a little sneaking around once we get this thing back open.
So, Jarek, as you're kind of in a hushed conversation with Valoran, going back and forth, the footsteps that you heard growing fainter, a kind of lighter footstep takes its place, and you hear yet another individual, for lack of a better term, entering the space near the wall. But there's like small scraping noises followed with each footstep, kind of alluding towards maybe like claws or talons coming out of whatever is moving. And you hear it grow closer and closer to the door. The footfall is becoming more and more clear before you hear like a... if you can hear me, I don't know if you can hear the sniffling noise, but you hear kind of like rushed sniffling noise within 5-10 feet of you, incredibly close.
I'll mage hand over to Valoran and gonna shake his shoulder some more. Valoran. Motion over. Here.
So as the silent back and forth continues, Jarek, you hear the sniffling go silent for a moment, and like idle scratching, like, I don't know, steel on stone, just like a hearing this kind of scraping noise going for a moment before you hear like a and then the footsteps kind of fading off yet again.
There's something behind there.
Shut up. Make no sound.
Admonished, Jarek would kind of sink into himself and like sit against the wall for a second.
Okay. So, where you guys had begun your rest, you're going to kind of end it in the middle of the night, more or less, definitely late into the evening. So, a few more hours pass by as you very distinctly listen to Valoran's suggestion and don't make any more noise. You don't hear any more sniffling or footfalls. It seems that the clattering and the banging that you had heard before kind of dies down as well as the night kind of sets in, more or less. But now is like the very faint noise of the wind moving up the mountain is the only real thing that you can hear. You've kind of finished up the long rest, so you can all, rejuvenate whatever you need to add on and heal and all that fun stuff. But you've now finished your long rest.
Whew.
So I imagine Rolly and Thor, you can either be woken up by Benny or Jarek or Valoran, or waking up on your own if you would like, but more or less everyone's kind of coming to and feeling pretty refreshed after a long rest of chasing and fighting and taking moderate amount of damage over the past couple days.
Did you guys have anything fun on your watch?
Yeah, there was something snooping around behind the door. Whenever we go in, we can expect company, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, didn't we hear that last night, though, before everybody went to bed?
Well, I mean, they were right next to the door on the other side, so they know it's there. They know the tunnel, wherever this thing leads.
Okay. Well, I'm good now. Ready to kill a lot of people. I mean, you know, gnolls, not people.
Rolly, I don't want to put you in this position, but as you're the only one that can see in the dark, do you want to take lead on going in? Or actually, wait, Benny,
Yes.
can you see in the dark? You don't have eyes, so
Yes.
I'm not sure how you see to begin with. Oh, guys, do you just want to send Benny in first?
Does Benny want to go in first?
I think any chance I may have to dispose of these animalistic creatures, I will certainly take up.
So, no particular urges to poke me this morning, are there?
Not yet. I will keep you up to
Okay.
date.
Please do.
Oh, yeah, Benny started talking to the possessed sword.
His name is Bloodcleaver, sir.
Yes, his name is Bloodcleaver, sir.
That's a very scary name. But,
You're-
yeah.
So is
Sorry.
Thor to the people who he's killed.
Those people are
Well, I mean,
dead,
they're-
so I don't know that it's
Yeah.
scary anymore to them.
Well, I shall see what is ahead. And Benny begins to kind of move through you guys towards the door. And again, using his arrow to, like, push through the holes. And you hear the... And he, like, stonework kind of slides in a little bit before he starts lowering it down. I will go ahead and give you guys... that. So for those of you who are looking through the hole that's created by the door lowering, you see what appears to be, you know, obviously man-made stonework, a kind of square room, more or less. Right in front of the stone door, there is like an old kind of torn up desk, bits of paper and books and inkwells and quills kind of tossed quite around the room. There's scratches and deep grooves and nicks in all the woodwork that appear to, like, something massive or something kind of feral has, like, jumped on top of it or tossed it to the side. It's definitely been ransacked, more or less. There's a few kind of, like, burnt out candles laying on the ground, but Benny just kind of, like, lowers the thing down, peeks his head in, looks left and right. I guess go ahead and move Benny to where he is. And then, like, looks back at you. He goes, okay. So then Benny is going to slowly step through the hole, kind of like lift his leg to get over the little lip that's left by the door. Stepping inside, he, like, walks kind of between the desk and the chair, looking both ways, looking back at you guys, going, like, motioning you forward.
I'll go in after him, I guess.
Okay.
I'd like to be at the back with Sparky in front of me.
Is this from dark?
Yes, it is dark, so you would not be able to see anything, really.
Okay.
Like, you can still see a little bit of light coming from the hole you guys created from the waterfall coming in and kind of seeing in a straight line through the door. But as far as everywhere else, it's basically kind of pitch black for you.
Yeah. Can one of you like light up something for me? Because I can't see anything.
I'd nudge Jarek with my elbow.
Oh yeah. Is there a pebble on the ground I can snag?
Sure, yeah.
Just like
I'll grab it, throw some light into it, and toss it over.
why don't you just light Carl?
Well, I don't know if he, consents to such a thing, and I don't want to light someone up without their consent.
JD, Carl is me. I'm fine with you lighting up Carl.
No, I figured he was afraid of fire, but okay.
Carl is.
No, and then I'll.
Okay,
I'll
so
go
you're gonna
poke him
light
in
up
the head.
Carl, who I'm assuming is still on your shoulder,
Yeah.
Thor. So for all intents and purposes, you'll be able to see with the light. But you step in. I'll go ahead and give you a little bit more of this. Let me go ahead and use this instead. Like that. Okay. So Thor, as you're peeking your head and kind of using Carl beside you almost as like a little indicator light, you see over to the east there is a closed door that's set into the wall. There's various bits of like sitting arrangements and furniture in the rest of the room. And then farther up north, you see the hallway continues. It is this like pretty steep climbing slope. It's, a smooth floor. There's no stairs or anything, but it definitely is moving up away from you. I don't know, maybe it's like a 30, 40 degree angle. It's a pretty harsh slope to be walking on. It looks like there's various kind of like stonework that's jutting out of the wall that you're supposed to like grab onto for handholds. But that's kind of what you see up to your north. And then the various, things in the room that you're in currently.
Okay. Am I allowed to move?
Yeah, you can move within like the area that you see.
Okay. Is in this door over here, is that... Can I hear anything past it?
Give me a perception check.
Alright.
So, no one discussed it with Sparky, but I imagine Sparky is going to stay where he's at unless you guys want to try to convince him to tag along.
I mean, I don't know what Seth had in mind for Sparky.
Yeah, I would just as soon he stayed behind.
Okay.
Would-
So,
I'll ask
Thor's-
him just as we're preparing to move forward. I'll ask him if he's ever been out of this spot, like if he's ever been beyond the door or anywhere else.
he like looks around the like small area that you guys are in and like looks out to the hole and like the other hole that you've made with the secret door, kind of shrugs and goes, "This is it! All there is!"
The whole world.
So he turns over to you, Rolly, and you see that his belly is stretched much more than it was last time, kind of pushing out between the tattered like cloak that he wears, and he kind of like looks over at you. "Yes, all of it."
Would I have known that my bacon was a little light?
I mean, if you check your bacon every morning,
Who doesn't? Don't you?
then yes, you would notice that you have a bacon-flavored biscuit with no bacon in it.
I look at the bacon and the biscuit in his belly and just give him an eye.
Rolly, I think you made him fat. You're turning him into JD.
Well, hopefully he doesn't go stuffing socks in people's mouths anytime soon.
Just don't give him the sword.
So, Valorant, was there more of the conversation with Sparky? Okay.
No.
Okay. So he'll just sit kind of like comfortable now, maybe take a nice nap after that meal as you guys proceed without him.
Proceed 15 on the door.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was getting to that. So as you come to the door, kind of putting your ear up against it, listening, you do hear maybe like a low murmuring. It's definitely some sort of conversation going on, not in a language that you would understand. Actually, what languages do you understand? It's common and...
Dwarvish and giant.
Okay, so you would not understand this. But you hear, it's a very faint. It's probably too far that even if you did know the language, that you would understand the words. But it sounds like 2 or 3 individuals having a conversation. You can't quite tell how far, but it's faint enough away that it's, a fair distance away. And then besides that, very low, like just on the edge of your hearing, you swear you hear the sound of like snoring maybe, but you're not quite sure.
I will, of course, relay the information. Can I point out, like, the whispers and just see if anybody understands that language?
It would still be too far away to really understand what it is, so I'll go with no for now.
Okay. And you said, like, basically 3-ish people that I can hear.
Yeah, your best guess.
Okay. And can I not, like, shove the door, but just try to see if it opens?
Okay. So you reach down, and it's, fairly old, but it's like an interior door. It definitely wasn't built to, like, keep anyone out. It's more to separate the room that you're in. It has, like, a kind of simple metal latch for it, and you reach down, lift it up, unlocked.
You guys want me to pull this?
Well, hey, I can cast a spell that I can understand any known language. If you want me to do that for a little bit.
Well, I can't even I mean, they're so quiet, JD. I don't think you'll be able to understand them. They're so far away.
Yeah, no, I get that, but like knowing what they're talking about once we get closer might be useful.
Okay. If you want to do that, sure.
Yeah, great.
Do you want me to check and see if this door is trapped? Because that might be important. Or does somebody else want to do it? Because dear God, I can't see anything in here, even with Carl.
Yeah, I'll search for traps.
Give me investigation.
All right.
So Betty, without discussing anything with you guys, is going to begin... Oh, that's the wrong tool. Is going to start walking up that northern hallway. Kind of like stealthily moving up the slope, using the handholds to kind of make his way.
Tell us what you see.
Okay.
Benny's gone. Rest in peace, Benny.
Ooh. It's a four-sir. Okay. You come up to the door, you look around, using a little bit of Carl's light, using some of your dark vision, kind of looking it over to the best of your ability, and it's a door.
Thor. It's a door.
I still don't trust the JD. Use your magic stuff and all.
Okay, yeah. So it would take 10 minutes to sit there and do everything. Take my shot of salt and soot. And
Okay. So Daniel, while you're coming up here and while Jarek is doing the ritual, do you see right here all these kind of markings on the ground?
Yes.
So to the left of that, what appears to be a kind of heavy iron, solid metal door set into the wall, but it's been like attacked and scratched and pulled at by various instruments. It looks like maybe claw marks and tools and swords and axes and whatnot have been kind of flung against this door, more around kind of the latch that holds it closed than anywhere else. But there's definitely been a lot of activity around this door, but there's nothing really else you can discern.
And there's
go ahead. Well, I can tell that Jarek's doing a ritual, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll also take the time to do detect magic.
Okay. So while detect magic, when you look around the room, nothing really piques your interest. The kind of black void bubble that was surrounding the secret door, you also see surrounding the door that Thor stood in front of, about the same size and diameter, covering the area of the door itself. So both of those doors have some sort of anti-magical field around them.
And does this door have, like, a keyhole or like is it just a flat iron like garage door looking thing?
So it's basically a giant piece of metal with the main part of the door, and then there are yes.
I would look for another little insert slot like the one that opened the first door.
All right, give me investigation. You see metal bars kind of like going across vertically.
I would voice my suspicions that this might be what is holding the door closed and ask somebody to help me.
I'll advantage you. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's metal bars kind of going horizontally across it, and then there's like what looks like it would be a kind of a movable mechanical object latched on the right and the left-hand side of the door. And then right under the crossbar in the middle of the door, there's what looks to be kind of a circular indent. It's not very big. It's maybe about like the size of a quarter, and it's maybe just like half an inch deep. And besides that, there's like other kind of like tool markings on the door from it being constructed, but that's more or less what you would see.
And does it not appear the same, I guess, the same as the thing that we have?
No, it's not octagonal, it's spherical.
Okay.
So, that is a 17?
Yeah, so I guess I have 0 modifier. I'd be looking for anything that might fit into that thing.
Okay, so looking up and down like the immediate area of this hallway, trying to find like a slot or something that you would see the other door open up with, you don't really find anything that matches that description. Again, there are various bits of stonework that push out as like handholds, like almost railings to move up and down the slope. But besides that, there's like a torch holder. I can't quite remember what they're called. On one side of the wall that's not lit, just leaving the room in dark. Yes.
Sconce.
The sconce.
Thank you. But besides that, the hallway's fairly uneventful besides all the kind of obvious evidence of activity around the door.
Sorry, I keep moving my character because I have my bound to arrow keys. Does it look like it can be, and I know it's been like, obviously it's been, tried to be broken into, but does it look like I can get fingertips like underneath the door at all, or is it just flat?
No, it looks like part of the stonework has actually been like taken away or missing, so the door slots into the ground, so it doesn't just like rest on the surface.
All right, I'm moving on for now.
Okay, so Jarek, you finished your understand language at this point. What are you doing?
I'll go ahead and go up to the door, and can I go ahead and check it for traps?
Yeah, go for it. Investigation.
Come on, something tasty.
Okay, so you step forward, kind of checking the latch again to see the same thing that Thor discovered, that it's unlocked and just simply lifts up and down when you go to touch it. You kind of check the different edges and the creases and the hinges, making sure there's nothing obvious, and it's a door.
Then I like to crack it open, just like maybe an inch to where I can pop my ear up against it and listen.
I will point out that you are blind right now.
It makes listening easier.
I would think that would give me, advantage on
So, go ahead and give me a perception check for listening, but I can't really give you any more visual information.
That's fine. I want to hear more than see.
Okay, so you crack the door open.
No, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, you crack the door open, which does allow you to kind of hear the voice just a little bit clearer. It's still far enough away that you're not getting the full context. You can't quite understand each word as it's said. You do understand it. You do understand that each word is a word that you comprehend, but you're still too far to really gather what's going on.
Can I gather any individual words out of it?
Let's see here. Odds or evens?
Let's go with evens.
Okay, no, you cannot.
Okay. God. Then second question is, if I smell the air, just poke my nose into it, Does it smell fresh, like there's a current of some sort that reaches it, or does it smell stale, like there is not?
So when you go to take a whiff, kind of, going through your various senses now that you can't see, you distinctly smell this kind of rush of wet dog. And you're very familiar with the smell from the different battles that you've had with the Gnolls, especially the previous night where you've been fighting in the rain. So that is a very familiar smell, and you know what that is connected to. And it's pretty heavy as you open the door. Besides that, there isn't really like a whisk of freshness or anything to like signify that there is surface or stairs leading up anywhere or a draft coming from anywhere. There also is kind of this underlying kind of foul smell that when you try and kind of identify it a bit more, like trying to go through the catalog in your brain of what the smell is, the closest thing you kind of relate to is like rotting flesh or a dead individual. But that is what you smell.
Okay. I'll close the door, go over to the group, and
well, I guess Valor at this point. Oh no, Rolly.
well, yeah, just Valor and Rolly, and hey, so down that way's probably going to be more gnolls. Are y'all having any luck with whatever's down there?
Looks like this door requires some sort of key. Look for something small and round.
I can't see anything that's like up here.
Yeah. So I'm just going person by person.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Okay. I'll go ahead and light up another pebble or rock on the ground so I can see a little bit. And
so I should know this. Is light concentration, or is that just a?
It's not concentration, but that would extinguish Carl.
Okay.
You can only have one.
I thought I could have 3. Nope, never mind.
No.
I'm thinking of something else.
So you are not casting light on anything?
No, I'll go ahead and cast it on the pebble so I can... Or actually, can I see that second door that's right there from Carl's light?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hey, did y'all check out the other door? Or am I mistaken? Is that the one that's metal?
Yes.
Or is there a metal one? Oh, okay, gotcha. Never mind.
You go. Jarek's trying to catch up with all the information, but good stuff. Okay, so Carl still has a light, or are you casting your own light?
No. Carl can keep his light, and I'll scooch myself on up to closer to the Thor.
So Daniel, as you step forward, let me do this right. I hate this Fog of War stuff, but I will get better at it. Okay. So I'll go ahead and put you there. You step forward into the hallway, and you see that it continues to your west and to your east. To your west, about 15, 20 feet further, you see it kind of distinctly turns sharply to the right. That's about as much as you can gather that way. To the east, there's an offshoot branch that goes up to the north, and then at the very far end of this hallway, you see a door set into the wall, and then it turning and facing southwards again. As you step out, kind of looking around, you see Benny come up from that far eastern passageway, and you see that he's like kind of sneakily moving in this still oddly mechanical sense where you picture like a rogue kind of stealthing around, this kind of like fluid, stealthy, shadowy movement. He's more just like stomping but with no noise. It's a very odd sensation. But he like looks down, sees you, and he goes and begins like kind of mechanically stealthy stomping towards you.
Alright, I guess I will meet him halfway.
Okay.
And look down this hallway while I'm doing that.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Of course. I'm a rather stealthy individual.
Okay. So you begin moving down the hallway as Benny comes towards you, and once you reach this little offshoot, I guess, that shoots up to the north, which again you see kind of splits off once it reaches its end, Benny comes up to you, and again he can't really whisper, so you just kind of hear his general demeanor, but in a quieter tone. He just goes, "There are sleeping gnolls in the room to our south. Plenty of them.
Okay, what? Have you discovered anything else yet?
There is also a room to the east, and there is a conversation taking place.
A room, like, where to the east, I guess is my question. Like,
I can't really show you because you haven't seen there. He's just kind of relaying information, so you just gotta work with what you get.
okay. Have you explored the north at all?
I have not.
Okay, or the west, north?
I have only gone down the passage that I returned from. As you are speaking, the conversation that you had heard through the door before, you're kind of growing closer to, and you hear it continuing as you and Benny are talking. But after a few words are exchanged back and forth between you, you hear that conversation stop, and a silence take place.
I would stop talking. I would just...
Benny, like, turns his head around, looks back at you. He goes, "We have been discovered."
Okay. I'll try to stealth back to here.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Okay.
Solid. So you and Benny start moving down the hallway, and you hear the sound of an old hinge kind of filling the hallway that you're in. It's like, and then metal footsteps following after that, coming from the corner that Benny had just turned.
Okay. Where did Benny go?
He's
Can
right
the
behind
rest
you.
of us hear that?
So if you guys are still in this hallway, you would see Thor kind of coming to the entrance of it again before you hear the clack, 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 clack of metal footsteps kind of coming down the hallway past him.
We have company, guys.
I'd get back into this room.
Okay.
Do I hear anything this way?
You do not hear anything to your west, just to the east.
Okay, I'm gonna head this way.
Okay.
What do I see?
Thor.
So Betty's gonna shoot down here with you guys. Okay. So it's another hallway that leads north. There is a door that is closed on the western hallway about halfway up, but at the end of the hallway it distinctly turns right.
Okay. And where? Sorry, I don't know where I heard the footsteps coming from. Was it over here?
Yes.
Okay. Then I am gonna go this way and try to stealth my way up here a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another stealth check. Jarek, you are in the room. Everyone's back in this room. What are you all doing in this room?
Being quiet.
So you're all hiding more or less?
I am preparing spell, I'd say.
Okay.
Valorant, I'll ask Rolly to help me, and then see if if the two of us can lift this desk that we're next to.
Okay. I think Rob just disappeared.
No, I'm
Nope.
having to text him. I'm here.
Oh, Rolly, throw some light for us before you do anything.
I actually don't have that spell prepared now.
Is it not a cantrip for clerics?
Yeah, I don't have that one prepared.
You don't prepare cantrips?
I don't have that one memorized. You can only have so many, right? You don't just know them all.
You didn't pick it. Okay.
Yeah. I'll be right. I'll be with you guys. I have to text.
Okay.
Well, I assume he will agree to help me.
Yes, you want advantage.
So I'm not trying to slam this thing around, but if we can,
you can only stealthily move it so much since it's a wooden desk. But yeah,
if we can pick it up and then set it down in front of the door to the east.
Okay. So go ahead. Yeah, athletics with advantage. Okay. So let me go ahead and draw that. So roughly there. And then this desk is not there. Okay. So as everyone's kind of coming back into the room, Jarek, are you standing in the entrance of the hallway there? Yeah. Or are you moving somewhere else?
I think I would move to about there.
Okay. I mean, what I'm asking is, everyone in the room, this is where you are in the room. Okay.
Oh, in that
Good
case.
Okay. So, Thor, as you duck around the corner, and Valorant and Rolly, you take the time to quickly shift the desk over to the door, kind of shoving it against, making sure that it's not going to come in anyway. You hear voices coming down the hallway, and Jarek, at this point, still, because comprehend language is like an hour, right? Okay. As everyone's kind of shuffling around, you hear voices coming down the hallway that's like up to your north and to your east, where you just seen Thor kind of disappear off to. You hear, "There's someone down here with us. Go get Grognek. He'll know what to do." And you hear this like still metal like thunk, 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 and it's getting closer and closer to you guys, kind of closer to the northern hallway that you can see.
I would like to ready an action.
Okay.
And I'd like to ready the casting of Charm Person
Okay.
in case I see someone enter into the hallway once they get within 30 feet.
Okay. So Daniel, what are you doing at this point? Thor, sorry.
I am kind of trying to go up the hallway and then kind of make a dim light out of Carl by like tucking him under, I don't know, my loincloth or something.
Okay.
And I'm trying to listen out for like, do I hear them coming from above me? Do I hear somebody coming like right here and going down? So then I can try to like move behind them.
Okay. So if you're here just listening out, trying to like hide Carl so you're not giving off any sort of light, you do hear that metal footsteps that you heard coming from your east growing closer and closer to your southeast, so just below you and to the right where your party members have kind of hidden in that room. Also to your northeast, so down the hallway in front of you and around that corner, you hear metal footsteps going up that way and another door being opened before another conversation begins taking place that you do not know the language of.
Sounds about right. And do I hear anything in this door to my west?
No.
Okay. And does this one sound? Does the voice to my northeast? Does it sound like it's getting farther away?
No. You hear a door open and you hear the conversation begin, and maybe 10 seconds pass before you hear two pairs of metal footsteps growing closer to you.
Okay. Can I try to dip into this door?
Give me a stealth check.
Again, Jesus Christ.
I mean, you guys are trying to stealth around. What do you want me to do? Nice. So, you go up to the door. Are you still going to go in even if you make a loud noise of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you step forward. Let me go ahead and just reveal it for you. So you open up the door, it's, unlocked, simple latch it again, just another kind of bare bones interior door, and you open it up, and you're doing pretty well. You're pretty proud of yourself on how stealthy you're going. And as you go to close it, one of the hinges on the wall that's fairly old and worn actually slips out of the stonework, allowing the door to kind of angle itself a little bit as you almost like clap it against the stone archway that the door settles into, letting out this loud bang. And as you hear the wooden door kind of like the sound of it drifting away, the footsteps stop and they begin running
closer.
Yes, to your northeast and to your southeast at this point. Okay. So those of you in that room, I guess Jarek would probably have the best line of sight. Let me go ahead and you would see a hobgoblin warrior dressed in pretty dark, grungy metal armor is sprinting east to west down that hallway that you guys just kind of like pulled away from.
In that case, I'll just kind of wave my hand, be like, towards the rest of the group.
Okay.
Can I be trying to just like stay so still he can't see me?
He's not even looking this direction. He is looking
fantastic.
forward, sprinting east to west. So by the time you signal the party, he's going to be gone.
Okay.
Okay. So, Thor, what are you doing at this exact moment? Now that you're in the room, it appears to be what would be like an old kind of holding area. There are 2 jail cells, one next to each other up to the north of you. And then the south, there's like kind of rudimentary tables with various bits of paperwork spread out upon them. But you now have a door that isn't quite on its hinges, kind of dangling in your hand, and you hear metal footsteps rapidly approaching you.
Can I try to barricade the door?
You want to try and move the table?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, give me an athletics check. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Yeah, after hearing all that, I would slap Valorant on his butt and tell him, "Let's go." Like a real hard slap. Like
So
Okay.
like plate hand against a plate butt. Just
yeah, bong.
Okay. I think at this point it's worth rolling initiative. Okay, so we'll have Rolly, you're moving first. Let me go ahead and actually do one more thing before we get into combat. So you have, I'm assuming, you kind of flipped the table on its side, shoved it up against the door, Daniel?
Yes. So
Okay, sounds good. So we'll go ahead and say that this closest one, you kind of like grab it, like scattering the few papers that are on it to the ground, shifting it to your right, shoving it against the door. The door that you were holding at this point kind of falls away, the other hinge kind of snapping, the old wood kind of like tearing itself from the hinge before it falls into the hallway, just east of you, as you hear the metal footsteps grow closer. As you are doing this, the rest of the party, up to you. So Rolly, what are you doing this turn?
I am gonna move 2, 3, 4, 5. That's as far as I can get, and I will ready a sacred flame. So if I see anybody, I guess nobody's in my line of sight right now. So
Yeah.
yeah. If somebody runs in front of me, I'll let it go.
Okay. Now Valorant.
I'll ask Jarek if he has a traditional source of light and move to the exit of this room and stop.
Okay. So, Thor, it is your turn. You do not see any combatants at this point, except, you hear them approaching both to your north and to your east. So you kind of have this turn to ready.
Yeah, so how much of the doorway does this table take up? Like, it's flipped on its side, so...
Yeah, so it's about
height-wise.
halfway covering the door frame, so there's maybe about like 2 or 3 feet left of doorway open.
Okay. Can I, like, stand on one side of the door and try to either hold the table against it, or if somebody, like, tries to peek through, I just hit him in the face real quick?
Yeah, so you're just kind of bracing the door and then attacking anyone who comes up.
Yeah.
Okay, easy enough. So that's going to be your ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna rage too, just as my bonus action, so that I don't have to take a crap ton of damage.
Okay. So as everything is going on, Valorant preparing, Rolly running off, noise is kind of drifting from Thor's position back to you guys. Jarek and Valorant, you would see Benny kind of like look around at you two, give you a thumbs up, and then bolt through the doorway to your east.
The one we blocked.
That's a good... Yes, no, he's not going to do that. Thank you, Valorant.
Benny, back the up.
He's going to run into the desk, be like... And then turn and run up the hallway towards Rolly. So he's going to go up... He's going to get to there. And then stop. So, Jarek, it's your turn now.
I'll be like, I've either got the candle or the pocket sun.
It's not my turn.
You can speak. You got, like, quickly talking during combat. I'll allow it.
Pick one.
I'll
Go for the sun!
I'll toss him the candle and prestidigitate it to light,
Okay.
and then I'll go ahead and move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I cannot occupy the same space as another character.
No, you
correct?
cannot. No.
Okay, and I'll stop there
You definitely.
and do a quick little whistle, like a low whistle, to a quick beat tune, and give Benny some bardic inspiration.
Okay. That's all you got, sir?
And that's all I got.
Okay. So as Jarek goes plodding down the hallway, whistling away as he works, again, keep in mind that these are slope hallways. You guys are kind of crawling up as you're running. Thor, as you are kind of positioned in your room, blocking up against the table, you see a hobgoblin warrior kind of step in front of the archway looking down at you. He has this dark, angry kind of expression on his face, but there's a bit of surprise as he sees this Goliath kind of pushed up against the table, you know, sword in hand, and he steps up, kind of looks back and forth, and then just tries to kick it with his foot. So go ahead and give me athletics with advantage. Okay, so you feel the impact of his foot hitting the table, the kind of like metal clanking of his armor filling your ears as this like giant thud kind of pushes you back just a little bit, and as you like look back up, still holding the table in place, he kind of like snarls down at you, and as he does, he looks over to his right, and you see other hobgoblin warriors. If you kind of like looking in the like small gap of the door frame that you still have, you see other hobgoblins coming into the hallway, and they're all gonna start like clamoring over each other, trying to get to you on the inside.
Yeah, can I attack the one that just...
Yeah, so you have that ready action to attack?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, that is a hit.
13.
Okay. Go ahead and... So, as he kicks it and kind of looks off to his side, as he's looking away, not paying enough attention, you like jab your rapier up, just kind of like slicing the side of his cheek, leaving a nice kind of red gash on his already red skin. He like glances back over at you, his snarl coming back again, as you deal a little bit of damage to this man.
Just be like, what? You scared me.
So now we're coming back up to Rolly. It is your turn, sir.
Yeah, so... Yeah, there's really not a lot I can do with this hallway, so I'm going to move there and keep Sacred Flame ready again.
Rolly, as you step into the hallway, beginning to like sprint the other way, hearing Thor actually beginning to start a conflict with the metal boots that you had heard run by you. Over to your east, which is now behind you, you hear this growing symphony of barking, howling, scraping, cackling, as if you kind of glance over your shoulder as you run, you see gnolls kind of pouring around the corner like a tidal wave, almost like a mass of dog fur as they all try to like go over each other, stumbling, falling, just like as an actual wall of flesh is now racing towards you to your east. And then at the same time, Valoran, you would hear that same kind of noise muffled coming from the doorway that you blocked at the desk.
Would I have seen that during my turn or only after I had finished?
No, this is after your turn.
Okay.
So, but now we're to you, Valoran.
I want to try to set that desk on fire with my candle. If
Okay.
there's any old papers or books.
Yeah. Okay. I don't. You couldn't set it alight this turn. You could start the fire, I would say, but it might take a little bit to kind of grow and actually envelop the desk.
Okay.
Okay, so you're like grabbing the various like books and paper and stuff on the floor that have been like discarded and rifled through, kind of shoving it under the desk in various places, taking the candle, starting up all the various different bits of paper, trying to get this to start burning. So that will certainly, you can begin doing that. Okay, so then Thor, it is your turn now.
I would like to just, hold my position and attack the men in front of me.
Okay.
Let's see, I got 1 and 2.
Okay, so that's 1 hit.
And that is 15 damage.
Okay. So as he's like still snarling down at you, and you see other warriors behind him like coming up and filling the hallway, their own weapons being drawn, and this kind of rough, vicious tongue being passed around amongst them. You leech for. Did you move backwards, or are you still here?
No, I'm still there. I don't know
Okay.
why. I think I
you're
moved
fine.
there to move
Yep.
the desk.
You're good. You kind of jab with your sword again, and this time kind of slicing the other cheek to like leave this kind of symmetrical scar on both sides of his cheeks. And like the growl even looks more menacing as the blood begins to like trickle into his yellow teeth and kind of filling out his gums. And he like basically fills the doorway in front of you.
I was just giving you a smile.
Okay, so now we are to Benny, who is going to but move forward, like kind of looking at Rolly, hearing the noise to his right, seeing all the gnolls, and he's going to step forward and then readying both of his swords, one blood cleaver, one the kind of jagged weapon you'd seen him use before, as he kind of stares down the very quickly moving wall of gnolls to his east. And that will bring us to Jarek.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go ahead and move up to here.
Okay.
And then, am I able to recall anything about gnolls as a general, specifically about their sensitivity to light?
They aren't known for being sensitive to light. Like, they have dark vision, they operate in the dark, every so often, but it's not like they have this like active hatred or issue with light.
Okay, gotcha. In that case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30 feet. I'll go ahead and
You still haven't put a light, right?
No, I haven't.
So yeah, right now you are the only one in this group of 3 that are blind.
God. I'll call out, and down the hallway that Thor had run to, like, I'm sorry. And I'll go ahead and cast light on Benny's helmet.
Okay. So, Thor, you are now blinded. Just so you know.
I'm aware, thank you.
Okay. So, yes, Jarek, you cast light on Benny's helmet. You see the kind of already shiny metal quickly brighten with light before filling the hallway in front of you, revealing to you this giant wave of gnolls quickly descending on you to your east.
Gotcha. And then to activate the Pocket Sun is a full action or a bonus action?
Full action.
A full action? Okay, gotcha. And then I think that'll be it for me for now.
Okay. So, now we're down to the hobgoblins. So, any attack against you, Thor, has advantage, and you have disadvantage because you are blind. What's your AC? I just threw my dice. 17. Alright, that is a hit. You are raging, correct?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're taking 1 point of damage.
Let's go.
So as the light of Carl vanishes and you're left in pitch black, you hear all the commotion still going on. You're trying your best to kind of discern what's going on around you, just using your hearing and kind of whatever information you can gather through smell, before you feel like the very small nick of a blade on your shoulder as you're still braced against the table. You hear his sword kind of chunk into the wood, just kind of digging into your flesh ever so slightly as there's more commotion kind of growing outside the door.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna say, yeah, this guy will run down to the south, hearing the other commotion from the other party members. He'll stack up here, and he's gonna look at you, Rolly, as he turns the corner. You know, shield and sword in hand, kind of gnarled, nasty expression, locks eyes with you, and he kind of just like smirks and like shrugs his muscles a little bit, obviously preparing for you to kind of charge him.
Is it possible to fart?
Sure.
Just a nice, long, loud one. Relief.
Okay. Well, we will come to you, Rolly. It is now your turn, sir.
All right. What was it?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nope. I was just seeing if I could attack him, but I'm blind.
You can. You just have disadvantage.
Can I?
I think so. That's from what I understand. Let me check real quick. And the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'll try if I get an opportunity attack.
Oh yeah, because he had to run past you.
Yeah, but like
Yes.
that was my question. Is since I'm technically can't see anything.
No, you can. As you hear him running by, you can wildly swing out so you can hit him.
Okay.
Sorry, totally forgot he was moving past you. So that's 18.
Mm-hmm.
That is a miss.
Okay.
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 So now, Rolly, your turn, sir.
Okay, so let me put a sphere around myself. 15 foot. Boom. And I will cast Spiritual Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is it a wisdom saving throw of 16?
it is, I believe you're right, it's Wisdom of 16.
Yep.
And it's
I've grown to know that spell well.
3d8. So let me go ahead and roll that for damage.
Mm-hmm.
If it hits, but
No.
let's see here. 3d8. All right.
Ooh.
10.
Okay. So
All right.
as you
Go
cast it, you see the angelic dwarves kind of dancing out of your energy and forming more like comprehensible individuals. The hobgoblin that kind of filled the hallway in front of you like looks around at these like quickly approaching smaller spiritual energies before one like claps him in the knee and one claps him in the chest, both striking him as they kind of like dance and frolic around him. He's kind of like swinging his shield around trying to prevent anything from hitting him, but it just goes right through his equipment. He's definitely kind of injured by it, kind of like shrugging off the blows that he's struck by. But yeah.
Okay. And I slap Jarek on his belly, tell him good luck, and I run 2, 3, 4. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
I'll run there.
Okay.
That's as far as I can get, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Okay.
So now we are to our good Noli boys. So yeah, obviously there. So that's gonna be 3 of them. Let's go ahead and see how that goes. Failure, success. Fantastic. So -10, -10, and -5. Okay. So, Rolly, as you storm off to the east, kind of like meeting this wall of gnolls head on, it's like the scene from Lord of the Rings where you see the water turning into horses. You have these angelic dwarves kind of charging with you down the hallway. And as you collide with this wall of gnolls, like hitting against your shield, more and more force kind of piling on, your angelic dwarves kind of dive over them, running over the mob, just kind of like flailing down with their little fists. And you hear like cries and like shouts of the gnolls as a sword kind of tries to like come up and over your shield to attack you. What is your AC, sir?
It's
18?
18 with resistance to slashing and piercing.
Okay, that is going to be a miss. So you are good for now, I think. Okay, let me see. Nope. So Valorant, as you kind of see your handiwork starting to light up, and just like the edges of the desk are getting kind of singed and burned, kind of getting ready to catch light, you hear this like bam, bam, and you see the door that you kind of braced against kind of like shuddering and moving, like bits of the woodwork kind of splintering and cracking, not giving at this point, but definitely being kind of like beaten down by some force as you hear this like wild, frantic, like hitting the door like over and over again. That is what you hear down that way. And so we're now to you, Valorant.
How's the fire coming?
It is growing. Probably this turn the desk will actually catch, but it's not a blaze at this point. It's just a lot of like individual fires kind of growing and drying out the wood.
All right, well, I'm committed to this plan now, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay. You're just sitting there. You want to try to like stoke it while you're sitting there?
I mean, I want to light the desk on fire. I would like to succeed in doing that. So
you are just facilitating the fire growing. Okay.
You're like Jack Sparrow.
Okay, so Valorant, as you're doing this, you know, most of your attention is on this desk, but you hear, like, kind of, like, light footfalls behind you. You see Sparky Ward kind of coming in. He had to, like, kind of hop up and over the lip of the door that slid down, and you see him kind of, like, glancing around, and then over to, like, the fire, and he goes, "Light!" And you see him, like, kind of start, like, trembling towards you, his eyes, like, all lit up with excitement.
And what did he yell?
Light.
Oh, light? Oh, okay.
For the dynamite.
It's probably not going to blow up. Don't worry about it.
Is he holding more dynamite, or is it the same?
He is holding the same empty paper tube that the fuse had gone off in.
All right, Valorant ignores him.
Yeah. Okay. So Thor, we're back up to you, sir.
All right, I have to beat an armor class of 19, correct?
To the best of your knowledge, yes.
All right. And I will recklessly attack in the darkness because I already have this.
So you just roll straight.
Yep, because I already have advantage against me. So
yeah, that's true.
What's stopping me? Oh wait, I roll one.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So let's take the 12, the first
12
one.
I mean, you can take both of them because that's both my attacks.
Okay, yeah, if you want to do that, that's fine. So the second attack would hit.
Yep.
Okay.
That is 11 damage.
Okay. Are you choosing to use your sword's ability?
I don't think I would because I wouldn't even know that he died.
Yeah, okay. So, as you are still braced against this table, you're like, you've even closed your eyes at this point because you're kind of like panic flailing. You're just like, oh Jesus, oh fuck, just like swinging your sword around above your head. And you hear it like connect, and then you feel a little bit of resistance for here like, and then like you pull it away and you feel a bit of like hot liquid kind of splattering the top of your head before you hear like a bunch of crumpled flesh hit the ground. Your best guess, you've taken out whatever's in front of you.
I think we killed him, Carl.
You just like you feel his hand like wiping away the liquid on the top of your head.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just stay here. I'll just brace for the next one.
Okay. So now we are to Benny. What is Benny gonna do? So as really for thematic purpose, I'm gonna say you like ran under Benny's legs as you were charging forward with your. Yeah. So he like looks down and sees you pass underneath him, and he's just like shrugs, seeing you like taking on this army of gnolls. Looks back at the hobgoblin, and Jarek, you're the only one close enough to hear this, but you hear. Perfect. And then Benny comes like stomping over you, running down the hallway with his swords drawn, and he's just gonna run up to the hobgoblin and just start thrashing away at it, and miss.
Just gonna like backstab.
He does have Bardic if he needs it.
Oh, he does. What is this? 1d6?
Yes, I believe it is still a 1d6 at the moment.
Holy shit! It hits. Good shit. Okay. And we'll say he strikes with Blood Cleaver, because that's the best. Okay, so that is a whopping Okay, so you see him like jump over you, now using the light from his helmet to illuminate the area. He goes charging down the hallway, and the hobgoblin that's like prepared for him to come up, like kind of looks a little bit panicked as this like glowing, charging warrior comes at him. And he kind of like darts away the first blade, but then he comes with Blood Cleaver, kind of sending it up into his stomach, a little bit of a jab, not quite getting in there, but enough to do some damage. And you see them kind of like locking into combat as the hobgoblin, who was waiting for someone to approach, goes to do his own strike. And hits. Okay, and he hits Benny. So you see Benny land a blow. They begin like dueling back and forth. You see the hobgoblin in front of him landing a blow on Benny's neck. You hear this like small kind of crunching noise. You see like the figure kind of flinch before he continues fighting. But then we will come down to you, Jarek.
After witnessing this hob on hob action, I think fearing for Rolly's safety, Jarek will go ahead and do some really bad whistling with the intention of some dissonant whispers. And
Okay.
I'll try and hit that first one.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw of 14.
That is a fail. So it takes 10 psychic and what else?
And then it's going to run away to the... What was it? As far as its speed allows.
Okay. So roll, you're going to get attack of opportunity. You want to go ahead and roll that?
Yep. Yeah, well. It was a nice thought.
So you hear this like horribly off tune kind of grating whistling coming from behind you. It's like just audible over the kind of roar of gnolls in front of you. And as you hear it kind of pass you, you see the gnoll in front of you kind of like curl in on itself, its facial expression kind of contorting to this horrible fucking like painful expression, and it begins like and like begins to try and run away. And you don't laugh at me. And as you see it run, you like panically try and reach out and smack it, but it's already turned tail and it's gonna start sprinting up to the north. Out. If it leaves the area, does it also have to roll again, or is it only if it starts its turn in that area?
It just starts its turn.
Okay, so it's going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
But,
So, okay.
but that being said, its movement was halved, so
Yeah.
Oh, you are right. I forgot about that last time. So it's 5, 10, 15. So it'd be here. Okay. Good
so
stuff.
he's gonna start another turn in there, poor guy.
Okay, Jarek, you got anything else?
And then, you know what? I'll change it to some better whistling and throw Rolly some bardic inspiration.
Okay.
I start tapping my foot to the ever so catchy tune.
And
Okay.
then I will go ahead and move up near him,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll be good.
Okay. So, Thor, as you're still braced against the door, you hear metal footsteps running past you. Go ahead and do an attack of opportunity with disadvantage.
Okay. Attack. Yeah.
Alright, so 16?
Yup.
Okay, so you miss. You hear your blade kind of scraping against the stonework as you strike your sword out, and then the plate's kind of running off to your south, or the metal boots running off to your south, and you hear more combat going on beneath you, farther down the hallway. Both of them are going to strike at Benny. One of them is going to hit. Okay. So, Jarek, as you're like running up to team up with Rolly, you glance back as you hear more commotion coming from behind you. You see two hobgoblins kind of filling out the corner of the hallway, swords and shields and various movements kind of filling the area. And you see Benny take another giant smack across his helmet, the light that's glowing off of it kind of like scattering across the stonework for a little bit before he like squares up with them again. But he's taking there's a nice big dent where the sword kind of collided, but he's still fighting amongst them. So... now we're to Rolly.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at the fella here in front of me.
Okay.
21.
Okay, 21. All right. So as you like swing out with your hammer, missing the one rolling off, you kind of bring your other hand around, revealing it under your shield as you cast out Guiding Bolt, shooting from your palm and into the kind of spiritual guardians that are dancing around you, striking the knoll in front of you, clapping it across the face. You see its lower jaw just being ripped away, being replaced by this kind of like glowing spectral energy as it just collapses onto the floor, kind of like ever so slightly like sliding towards you as it carries its momentum that it was using, but you just delete that poor fellow.
And then I'm gonna rush forward there.
Okay, so that would make those two. That is a success. That is a success. Okay, so they both take 5 damage because it was 10 damage that you were working off of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's because the other one still hasn't entered your thing. Okay, is that all of your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so they have to go ahead. We'll roll for the guy in the north. He fails. He's definitely dead. First one, fail, success, fail. So that's -10. That's -5. And that's -10. Okay. So as you blast the face off of one, kind of charging forward, your guardians continuing their barrage, you see more and more gnolls getting struck, their cries filling out the hallway as they continue trying to like crawl over to, trying to get to you. So you're gonna get an attack and then a get shot at. That is a miss. That is a miss. So you are still holding them at bay, shield front, as you just feel more and more of their flesh kind of colliding on top of you as your guardians continue to start doing their work. And so that's their turn. So Valoran, do you want Sparky to go first, or do you want to go before Sparky?
Sparky can go first.
Okay. So as you see him racing forward, you see bits of his like torn clothing, which hasn't really been put under this much stress, throughout his entire life, begins kind of like ripping away, and he runs into the flames that you started as we're just beginning to kind of like crawl up the woodwork. And as his hands touch the flames, you see this kind of like, now that he's, in firelight and not like in the dimness of the entrance you guys found him in, you see that his skin's covered in this kind of like slimy translucent film, and as he touches the flame begins crawling up the film, covering his body and like going over his entire flesh as he just goes, and you see like just fire engulfing his entire head, and then he begins just like placing his hand on various parts of the desk, leaving like splotches of this burning like oil kind of substance, more or less, that begins to kind of spread the fire more, and he is just like elated. You're not quite new, or you are new at telling Newtling's expressions, but from what you can guess, this little individual is very pleased with what's going on right now.
Valoran says, "Yes, Sparky. Light everywhere. Everywhere."
He's just like patty caking the back of the desk with his hands, just everywhere he can touch.
And then I'll spend all of my movement to get down the hall, glance left, glance right, make a choice, move to the right, and that's it.
Okay. So we are to you, Thor.
Yeah, so can I...
You can begin to see now because Benny's helmet's probably illuminating a little bit of that hallway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking if I like glance out because I don't hear anything in front of me and I've been attacked.
Yeah.
I would see like the back, I guess, their figures against the light.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point I'll hop the desk.
Okay.
And then I don't know, just kind of hope I don't have anybody behind me, and I will rush up to this one and attack him.
Go for it.
Does this get advantage because he's engaged with somebody else?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because you're tightly flanking him. Okay, that's 2 hits.
Yaw. 10 and 13.
13. So that's 23?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as you leap the table, you see that the hobgoblin's still not really paying attention to you, as he's now solely focused on Benny, exchanging blows with him, and you just run up behind him, doing 2 large slices on his back, where the kind of metal armor that's covering his front is mostly just kind of like a leather gambeson in the back. So you rip the material open, bringing these 2 long red gashes onto his skin. As you hear him like scream out in pain, the muscles on his back kind of flexing as he kind of glances and turns to face you after you've struck him twice.
Tag, you're it.
Okay, is that all you got, sir?
And that is all I can do for now.
Okay. So as you strike and you see the hobgoblin turn, you hear Benny go, "Not so fast!" and strike, trying to like go past the one he's locked in with, striking at the one that's now facing you. Please hit, Benny. Okay, he hits once. Okay, I'll take once. Fantastic. So as the hobgoblin's like turning around to face you, it's like snarled face, kind of like beaten and bloody, one eye kind of closed a little bit. It's like just about ready to strike you as you hear Benny's voice call out, and you see Blood Cleaver driven through the back of his neck, the point kind of coming out the front. And as you see the blood seeping from the wound towards the tip of the blade, it mysteriously begins to start like sucking into the metal so that the blood doesn't even drip from the point before the sword is withdrawn from the blow, and the hobgoblins like collapse onto the ground in front of you.
I think my eyes would just be wide. And I'd just be like, oh boy.
Okay, so that was Benny, so now we're to Jarek.
They look like they're fine. 5, 10, 15, 20. I can't actually see them over there. Past rolling. Do I see any sconces on the wall that maybe hold an old torch?
Give me investigation with disadvantage.
I am behind you with the candle.
Oh, you're still holding the candle? There you
Okay.
go. Okay.
Well, that only gives 10 feet worth of light, though. Do I still get disadvantage?
We'll let you roll with straight, since he has the light, or the candle. Okay. Yeah, like just over Rolly's head, there appears to be an old torch kind of left in its socket.
I'll prestidigitate that to flame up so I can see, and then...
shibbles. Yep.
Okay. And then I'll go ahead and move up behind him.
Okay. So you cast your ball or your amount of energy, and you see it kind of like swirling around the what's the word I'm looking for? Put out kind of like cloth of the torch before it begins kind of like trickling up and then bursts into flame, revealing the majority of the hallway to you, and the Knowles and Rolly kind of locked in combat.
Then run up and slap Rolly on the ass and give him
so much ass slap.
Did I already give you?
I think you already gave that to him. He hasn't used it yet.
Does it double or?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. And then I'll just be behind him for moral support.
Okay. So we are back
All
up
right.
to... Oh no, the Hobgoblin's turn this time. So the one that's locked with Benny, seeing his compatriot fall, is just gonna, seeing these surrounded, kind of cornered, lash out at Benny, see if he can achieve anything, and fails miserably. So they're just still, swords just like kind of jutting back and forth with each other, metal clangs kind of coming from their combat as they continue to fight. So now we're rolling.
All right. So the knoll in front of me, how does it look?
Oh yeah, I actually should have been doing this. Thank you for reminding me. Totally forgot. He's bloodied, and that's as much as I can tell you, which means he's below half HP.
Okay.
Totally forgot about that.
I will reach forward and not quite, am I in I'm in melee range, right?
Yeah, the one in front of you?
Yeah. So I'll just reach forward and put my hand on his try to put my hand on his chest and cast inflict wounds.
Okay.
And that's a straight attack roll, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. And that's a plus 8.
So that's 13?
Yeah.
That's still a miss. So as the knoll is like basically on top of your shield, you're almost like holding him up off the ground. You like feel the heat of his mouth kind of clamping and gnawing, trying to get a hold of you above you. As bits of like spit and drool kind of like cover your face and the top of your helmet. He's just like, yes?
Sorry. Can I add the bardic inspiration to it?
Oh, you can. Sure.
Where are you? 15?
So that's 15? Nice.
Yeah.
So as it's like trying to get at you, trying to attack you, you kind of like move the shield enough, kind of using its own weight against it to like maneuver around like a puppet, and then you jam your hand up into its chest and you strike true. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. There we go. 13.
Okay. So as you like still hear this like a bunch of like spit kind of splattering your face, it kind of like ceases for a moment as the mouth is shot wide, and you hear this almost like death rattle breath coming out of its mouth. It's like, and then it just like falls full weight on top of your shield as you just kind of like fling it off to the side and let its limp body hit the ground.
Poor donkey. And then I would step forward.
Okay. So now we're to the gnolls. Let's see how they fare. That is a success, and that is a failure. So he's going to take 5, and he is going to die, because it's fantastic. So as you shove one off to the side, preparing for another fight, stepping forward, you see one of your spiritual dwarves leaping from the ceiling, kind of lashing itself around the neck of a gnoll, and just continually kind of beating it in the back of the head with a mug before it falls over limp dead, leaving just one gnoll standing in front of you. Let me go ahead and see how Sparky's doing. He's doing a thing. He's something's going on down there. That's fine. Okay. So, Valorant, it's your turn, sir.
All right. So, I am going to push past Jarek, get in behind Rolly, and I'm going to try to use my glaive to attack over Rolly's head. I would expect the gnoll to have some cover.
Yeah, that isn't... cover only matters with range attacks, correct?
No.
No? Okay. We'll roll with it then.
I'll drop the candle where I'm standing, just on the ground.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Nice of you to join us, Valorant.
here it comes.
Oh yeah, it is everything. Okay, you're right. Yeah, that is a hit. Okay. So as you see Rolly doing work, kind of like his presence filling this hallway as the gnolls are trying to like climb over him, various gnoll bodies laying in different states of disrepair on the ground, you come running up, like kind of pushing past Jarek, kind of having to like squeeze by his sides in the hallway, and then throwing your glaive out over Rolly's head, you kind of catch a gnoll's face with your blade, and it's like just about to kind of leap on top of Rolly. It's just like a bonk, and it just freezes in place before kind of like sliding off of your blade back to the ground dead. And that'll be the gnoll. Anything else you got, sir?
I was doing just fine, Valorant.
The clock's ticking now that the fort is on fire.
The fort is on... What?
So, Thor, what are you doing?
I will take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and then
Attack of opportunity. No, I'm kidding.
I will use my advantage double strike. You know how it be.
Okay, so that's 1 hit.
Alright, you know, 14 damage.
Okay. So as, like, Benny and this hobgoblin getting that almost, like, stereotypical, like, blade against blade struggle, they're kind of, like, locked, kind of pushing back and forth with each other. You see their faces kind of, like, growing closer as you can tell that there's, like, a lot of emotion going into this fight. You just, like, walk up behind them and just clap the blade on the top of the hobgoblin. You see this big, thick splurt of blood come out as it just crumples in front of Benny. Benny just letting it kind of fall down in front of him.
Okay.
The battle of the wits.
So, do you have anything else, sir?
I have 35 feet of movement, so I'm gonna go crazy and go up here to see. Oh wait, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Damn, I would steal Benny's helmet if I could. I don't care. I'm still going.
Do you want to take Benny's helmet?
No, no.
Okay. So you run up there, but you're not able to discern anything.
Yes.
Okay.
Just if I can hear anything ever. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you are running far to your south, back to where you would enter this cellar area, you hear painful barks begin to fill the air as like scraping and clawing and yapping begin to like grow louder and louder. And the rest of the party, specifically Rolly, Valorant, and Jarek, the rest of the party, you would hear this noise off to your east, kind of bouncing and echoing down the hallway, growing closer and closer.
Oh. Well, I hear that at the end of my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if I heard it at the beginning, like when I was moving, I would have moved down to that, but...
No, that's fine. Okay, so Benny's turn. He'll go ahead and run up here with you, not quite sure where he wants to go, and we'll give you that. Okay, so now Jarek, your turn, and you hear a quickly approaching, same kind of like symphony of noises that you heard the first gnolls have, but they are distinctly like painful noises as they're kind of like yelping and scraping and rushing down the hallway that you can't quite see.
Gotcha. I think I would like to go ahead and take the torch out of the wall.
Okay.
And run up to here.
Okay. So Thor, you would see Jarek entering the hallway that you run up to. I'll go ahead and give you that. So Jarek, as you run up, you see Thor off to your west, and over to your east, you see the beginnings of a staircase kind of leading up. Again, these hallways that you've been moving up at this point have been kind of slowly going up. Even the hallway that you're looking down to your east is still sloping up. But after, about 30 or 40 feet of sloping, it then becomes a more like sharper, staired incline that like it takes a few corners, so you can't quite see past that, but there are stairs that direction.
And I'll just call out, Thor, we got more down this way.
You're still alive?
Fuck you, Thor.
So are we still in combat initiative order?
Yes, we are still in combat initiative order.
Okay.
And it's your turn, sir.
All right. So you said we hear it from the east. Do I hear it from my southeast or my northeast?
It's just echoing down the hallway to your east. So it's hard to tell. Like, it's not coming from that room, if that's what you're asking.
Like, I'm, over...
It's echoing from this position.
It's coming from there?
Yeah, you're east.
Okay. Easy enough, then. I will run here. What do I see?
Okay. Now let me paint you a vivid picture as I use the wrong tool. Nope, why is it not? Okay, there we go. Okay. So as you rush to the corner of the hallway, looking down to your south, you see 3 gnolls that are various stages of being lit on fire. Bits of their fur alight, some of their skin kind of singed and burned, a bunch of smoke kind of trailing behind them. As you look down the hallway, you see Sparky is on the back of the last gnoll, his hands quickly beating down on the back of it as it's screaming and yelping, its hands trying to kind of reach back and grab him, as Sparky is just kind of dipping and diving his oversized head, continually still just patting the fire on his back as the gnolls are kind of rushing towards you. You do put one of them in your zone who succeeds, so he'll take the 5. But that is what you see.
So they're all burning, and
they're all burning,
attacking.
And Sparky is riding the last one, putting it more on flame.
You've earned another bacon sandwich, Sparky. Good job.
In response, you just hear...
And I'm gonna just I will ready. Can I ready a melee attack if he comes within range?
Yeah.
I'll just do that.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I forget. I have spells and everything. Spiritual weapon, or not spiritual?
Okay.
God.
Spiritual
Sorry,
flame.
words are hard. Sacred flame.
Sacred flame. Okay. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
That's a DC 16.
Okay, so DC 16 Dex. Yeah. Does it hit?
On the front one?
Front one.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. And 14 damage.
Okay. So as the knoll is like racing towards you, trying to pat out the flames that are catching to its fur, it looks up in a panic as it hears you turning the corner, and it's immediately met with another source of flame, kind of crawling over its skin and lighting the front of it on fire. As you hear a more deeper shout, like ah, ah, like the hands are just flinging around this fire as this poor thing is being hit by both sides. But yes, so you do strike it with a nice little dose of fire, and we will. Oh, it's it's Null's turn. So it's gonna start his turn in your zone. He's gonna fail and he is going to die. This guy's gonna enter it. I know you're going to attack. Let me see how they do. Fail and fail. So they both take 10, and they also have to take their little fire damage. These poor things. Okay, go ahead and roll your attack for the one in the front, Rolly.
Okay. Well, wait a minute.
He didn't ready one.
Roll my attack?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, you were
ready
going
one.
to ready and then you didn't. Sorry, I totally forgot. So... Actually... No, okay. So, as these gnolls are racing down this hallway, bits of flame kind of filling your vision as it grows closer and closer. Sparky's still patting it down with more and more fire. Your spiritual guardians are at their ankles, like trying to trip them up and hit them, kind of like making them stumble and fall and like hit into the walls and whatnot as they're trying to continue forward. Yep.
I would like to. I'd like to imagine that they're pouring their mugs out, but instead of beer, it's some sort of inflammatory substance. So it's just fake flames that are. Yeah.
Okay. So, can it move through you? An enemy cannot move through your space, right?
It can try to. That's overrunning. I think is an optional rule in the DMG. If you would like
Here,
to,
go ahead. Throw me an athletics check, Rolly.
Okay.
What's your bonus to athletics?
It is +3.
Okay, you succeed. It literally rolled a 1. So it's like charging down the hallway, and as you see it approaching, you just kind of like lift your shield, and it just smacks into your shield and hits the ground. It's like face covered in all these horrible burns, and its eyes are wide in a panic. The one behind it kind of running into that, and now Sparky has like jumped on top of both of them, kind of like filling the gap, and his hands are just flinging out at any place that isn't burning. He is touching to make it burn. So that is there. Okay, Valorant, your turn, sir.
This guy's awesome.
all right. Scoop up my candle off the floor, move to this door, and try to kick it open.
Okay. Go ahead, give me an athletics check. So as you hear this horrible mangling combat going on just around the corner, you run up to the door and like you're like, this will be easy. Bonk. Shit. And it just kind of like rattles in the frame a little bit. Got anything else, sir?
No, I think that would be it.
Okay, Thor, it's your turn, sir.
I'm going to look at Betty White, and I was like, "Can I steal that for a second?" Pointing at his helmet.
You see him like try to tilt his head up, like as it like continually still like keeps trying to look up until his neck is craned like all the way back. He's like, "What?
Your helmet!
What?
Your helmet! It's shiny!"
Oh, yes, of course." You see him grab it, kind of like pulling it off, and as you do, you see the bleached white kind of rough cut skeletal figure of Benny's face as he kind of like hands you the helmet.
I'll just kind of and then I'll I'll go to this door.
Okay.
And I will attempt to open it.
Okay. You open it.
Okay, cool. Give me the light.
Okay, so you're met with what looks like an old storeroom. There's crates and boxes kind of filling the various areas, small table in the center. It looks like there had been stuff kind of being prepped on the table when this room was last in use. There isn't a lot of evidence of it being accessed or used in the recent past. That's not the right wording, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, more or less, general kind of storeroom.
Okay. And I guess I'll just move next to JD and say, I found a food place, your favorite type.
Oh, thank God it's not rations.
And then that's all for me.
Okay. Jarek, you're doing anything on your turn?
Yeah. I'll run back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Run back down here and just call out, "You okay?" Seeing that Rolly is surrounded by flames, what it looks like.
Yeah, you just see like little tendrils of the flame kind of crawling around the corner as he's like holding his shield high.
Just a quaint little bonfire.
Oh, well, and then I'll throw a couple of notes out and be like, "You didn't start the fire. It was always burning." And give him some bardic inspiration.
Okay. So, Rolly, we were back to you, sir.
Okay. I am going to cast Toll the Dead on the one in front of me.
Okay.
And that is a wisdom of 16.
Okay. That is a failure. You're gonna do enough damage to kill this thing. Right?
Well, there, it's official now. All right.
Okay. Yeah. So, as you pull forth this kind of like ethereal undertone bell that kind of fills the space around you, reaching out towards this gnoll who's like almost at this point curled up on the ground, just kind of resigning itself to die in this horrible, painful death. And as each loud bang of the bell fills the hallway, you see it like twitch and shudder and shake, and you just see its body grow like more and more limp, just kind of like twitching ever so slightly as the last bell kind of rings, and you just see its whole carcass kind of like half burned and singed and just in a horrible mess, just like laying flat on the ground. And the one behind it, to help pull this combat into a closure, Sparky is like grabbing its face, kind of like pulling its face backwards as it's like burning the actual like eyes and mouth of this gnoll, and it begins screaming more and more and more before finally like Sparky just jams his hand into its mouth, like a little bit like gnawing, like saliva kind of coming out, like almost like boiling from the heat before it like collapses onto the ground, and Sparky just keeps like patting it on the head even clearly after it's dead. And that will end combat.
It's all over there, little whatever you are.
Rolly,
He's like still.
It worked out. It worked out a-okay this time. Those would have been D12s.
Yeah, because it was damaged.
Yeah,
You're right.
That's right. Yeah, thank you.
we might need them next time.
So as the last kind of flames that are being held up by the gnoll's bodies kind of flicker down, Rolly kind of withdrawing his spectral guardians that float around him, everyone kind of coming to gather in this hallway again. Sparky kind of like triumphantly steps down off of the gnoll corpse that he created, like walking up, and all of his flesh at this point is now like covered in like kind of small smoldering flames. Little like wisp of the flame like crawling up and down his skin. The majority of his clothes have been kind of like burnt away. There's little like bits and pieces kind of hung here and there, but it's definitely in even worse shape than it was before. But it kind of steps forward, and as everyone's coming back together, Rolly is like handing him a bacon sandwich. The Newtling kind of holding it in his grasp as you see the bread in his hand begin to kind of like burn as he like reaches up and begins like nibbling on the bacon, and then looks up at you guys.
Is that thing on fire?
I would start casting prestidigitation to try and smother the flames, kind of put them out. Just be like, oh god, Sparky, no.
Valorant, I kind of want to elbow Jarek and be like, what are you doing? This is good. We need this.
Oh yeah, we do need light.
And fire.
I mean,
Oh.
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
Should I light them up again?
Sparky, you could light yourself on the knoll.
Sparky is like looking back and forth, like looking at his now damp arms and being like, and then like turning around as per Valorant's suggestion, walking up the like still smoldering knoll, and you see him like placing his hand back and forth on it as like the fire begins to start like crawling up his skin. You see him like shaking his arm a little bit to kind of get some of the like weird liquid that covers his scales to kind of like drip down farther as he's like slowly making the light kind of crawl down his arm. He's like, yes.
Sparky, when we fight, I want you to light things on fire. Everything you see. Just anything you can reach.
Okay, but not us. Not us. Not us.
He like looks up at Thor and begins like bacon sandwich in one hand, lit hand on the other, like walking towards you like, light.
I swear I will kill you so fast.
No, Sparky, stay in the corner. Just wait there until we need you to go somewhere, okay?
So
Looks around,
Oh.
shrugs.
So that was fun.
I want to throw open this door in front of me
Okay.
that I failed to kick.
It was a valiant effort. A Valorant effort.
Oh, I knew that was
Oh
coming.
my god. So as you open up the door to your north, this appears to be, you didn't see the storeroom that Thor opened up, but this appears to be more of like a long-term storage. There's a lot of sacks of grain, some of them kind of like spilt over on the side, bits of flour and stuff, crates that you would assume kind of hold the same kind of thing. But that's basically the room in front of you.
I'll do a quick check with my candle for anything fun.
Okay, do investigation check.
I'm gonna weasel past everyone and try to go down here.
Okay, I'll go ahead and just give you this room. Investigation 16? Okay. So as you dig around, there isn't anything super interesting that catches your eye. Again, this being more of like a food storeroom. It does appear that this is actually ventilated somehow. There are small holes kind of cut into the stonework that as you kind of like get near them, you feel fresh air kind of hitting your face. But at this point, that would be quite the long funnel that has somehow been fashioned to keep this room dry. That's kind of what you discover about this room.
So I'm going to poke my head out into the hallway and say, Sparky, here's a perfect example. Everything in here, burn it, all of it. The grain will go up really nicely.
Sparky's just kind of like, light. And he's like walking past you, and as he does, you see him like pull like some of the bacon sandwich away. He kind of like stops for a minute, goes, and burps, and you see like a small flicker of fire kind of catching his burp, kind of filling the air in front of him before you're like, light, and then walks off into the room where you see him start like petting the different sacks of grain and boxes and whatnot as his flame begins to kind of start spreading around the room.
When that smoke gets up through the vents, they're going to come looking.
Thor, what did you find out in the other hallway?
Well, I barricaded myself into what seemed like a prison. I don't know. Didn't really have time to look through any of it. And then at the end, I stole the helmet of Benny, and I found another storage room. But I didn't look through that either, because I thought you may have died. Or
Oh, well, thanks for the sentiment.
it's just more you
Valorant, do
died.
you think that would be, maybe we should light every room on fire, see if we can smoke out the top floors?
I think that whether we ultimately succeed or fail, we will make this fort uninhabitable. I say burn it all.
Okay, well.
So, Thor, as you walk into this room, it appears that this had at some point been used as like a barracks, like a bunk room. There's tons of evidence of beds that have been like torn and tossed and kind of broken to pieces throughout the room. And what it's kind of been fashioned back into is almost like a nesting feeding ground. Skeletons that are like half picked clean of their flesh, various like piles of skulls and gnawed-on bones kind of fill the various corners of the room. There's a thick stench of that wet dog and dead body smell that you've kind of been smelling intermittently as you come into this like cellar area. But from just kind of glancing around, it's clear that this is where like the gnolls that you had interacted with down here were kind of like resting, sleeping, slumming. There's like small, like almost like nest-like indents on the ground where like bits of blanket and pillows and like wood have kind of fashioned like an almost sleeping area for them. But that is what you see in this room.
And did I see anything over here?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to. That is a door. Are you going to go ahead and open that door and check that out?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So you step into here, and it is more or less the kind of the barracks down here. There are weapon racks and various equipment, small bits of armor, and like gloves and gauntlets kind of laid around the room. And that's about it. And it's like general idea of the room you're walking into.
Okay. I'll just kind of shout these things as I'm walking.
You
through
can
them.
parlay them back to the
Because I suck at investigation, so I'm not even going to try to look for anything special, and I'm just going to go down here.
I'll go to the armory and look around in the armory, specifically for something like something interesting. Like we don't need, need swords and spears, but if there's something kind of unusual.
So give me investigation again. I mean, the things that you kind of see in this room are pretty mundane. They are useful and, are still fit to be used as weapons and various tools and whatnot. There is an armor kind of sat up, stood tall on a stand in the southwest corner that appears to be appreciated more than the other equipment in the room.
What kind is it?
It appears to be a combination of like cloth padded like gambeson armor that also has like chainmail overlaid. It has a full set of helmet, chest, gauntlets, greaves, that kind of thing. It very much looks built for comfort. There's bits of like animal fur sticking out through the collar and through the wrists and whatnot that you would imagine you would enjoy in a colder climate such as this fort. That's kind of the general idea of it.
I don't think, not to be too meta here, I don't think it takes him a spell slot. Can we ask Rolly to detect magic in here?
Well, you guys also have the, someone has a spyglass.
Oh, right.
I don't know who. I think Jarek had it last.
Jarek last I heard.
Jarek is the holder of magical items, so.
I like to think myself as the stash box. I can take a look at that and pull the thing out.
Come in with the telescope, look around the room.
And,
so as you glance around, nothing really stands out, except when you do, bring your attention to the armor in the corner, you do see that it glows with a distinctly magical light.
Valorant, that thing looks shiny. It's got something going on.
Well, here, give me that, JD. Now that you found something magic, I want to find things magic.
Yeah.
And I'll just run around to every room.
Okay, give me a general investigation check.
Oh yeah, you got it, dude.
So Valorant, are you still instructing Sparky to light everything on fire?
Yeah. In fact,
Okay.
I'm gonna gather this. Well, I don't really have a free hand. I left my backpack on Belgrease, so I'm just down here with some javelins on my back. I don't have anywhere to put the armor, guys. So if we want it, somebody else is gonna have to.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Well, we're lighting this room on fire, so
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't want to
not.
wear the armor?
If someone I'm not married to that idea. I just like that idea. If somebody has a different idea, don't let me.
You don't want to just put the armor on?
No.
What about you, Seth? Do you want armor?
I'll grab the armor, and kind of bundle it up. What type of armor is it?
As a description, it is basically chainmail armor.
Okay.
Or no, is it, let me make sure. I want to get this right. Yeah, chainmail. Sorry.
So it's heavy.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm in.
So yeah, I'll gather it up and take it back to our hole.
So the entrance you guys came through?
Toss it out right there.
Okay. So, Thor, you got nat 20 on your investigation? Yes?
Yes, I did.
Is this room on fire now, or was it just the desk?
So are you coming back from the north and not the east, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I'd be coming through that direction.
Okay. So as you come into the room, I guess, Thor, you'd probably have run through this room at some point with your spyglass, like, frantically looking around and running off. The desk has kind of charred up, and it's, the main source of the flame at this point. Bits of the furniture in the northeast have also kind of started catching the flames, but the room itself isn't, like, fully erupted. The smoke kind of growing from the flames is slowly seeping out through the hole and out towards that waterfall that you guys had come in, kind of leaving that way. The door that has been barricaded by the desk has been, like, crunched and pulled apart, but it's also kind of still smoldering with fire, but yeah, so you could easily get through there and put the armor in the hole without, like, getting burnt or anything. So
okay, I'll prestidigitate the fire in that room out, just in small patches as quickly as I can.
Okay,
That'll be me.
Thor, as you are racing around, again, you do see the anti-magical field around that door that you guys were investigating earlier, that you can see with the this telescopic lens magical thing, spyglass. When you get to the jail cell room and you're glancing around again, there is, 3 skeletons in the room in various stages of decay. It looks like they were basically left to rot. Their flesh kind of been, like, stuck and, like, shrunk to the bone. But as you look over them, you see that the one in the right jail cell, its boots are glowing with a kind of small bit of magic. Well.
Oh,
it's locked.
Does the lock look like I can break it?
Could try.
I can try. Yeah, I'd like to break the lock.
Give me an athletics check. Oh, well, no, you still have the helmet, I guess.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just like carrying it around right now.
Okay. You land a pretty sizable blow. It's not a padlock. It's actual, like, a mechanical lock built into the door itself, covered by, like, an iron box, basically. Yes?
No, you go ahead with your description. I'll do it after.
Okay. You land a pretty heavy blow, and the bars kind of rattle a little bit, but you do not break it open or anything.
And then I'll just look at Carl. Can he fit through the bars?
Yeah.
Carl, I need you to take this man's shoes. And I'll just, like, set him down through the bars.
Okay. So Carl, like, goes across a small bit of space, comes up to the boots. He's, like, kind of looking them over, kind of, like, walking around them, looking how they're attached to the body. And he's, like, grabs the ankle, which is, like, basically the size of him. Like, this is a pretty thick boot compared to him. And he begins, like, struggling, pulling. You feel like you hear his like feet scraping across the stonework because they can't quite get purchased. He's still like struggling and yanking, and you see him kind of like jump on top of the boot. He's like yanking at the various like leather straps and latches that are holding it on. He's like trying to pull on him, like yanking at him. Let me go ahead and
Strength check, Carl.
you hear this like he's still trying to like yank it, and he finally kind of like pulls one half off the foot, and then you hear crunch, and he just pulls the whole foot off from the ankle, disconnecting the foot from the skeleton. But with the boot, he kind of just like drops it. It's like,
fantastic work, Carl. And I guess the whole time I'll just kind of be doing the same motion with the lock.
you should keep hitting the lock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like if he eventually succeeds in bringing them both back, then I won't. But like,
he would get the boots to you quicker than you breaking the lock.
sounds good.
So after eventually kind of like rolling them over themselves, almost like doing like a tire workout, he gets the boot over to you enough so you can like reach through the bars and grab it and pull it through. You now have 2 boots with the feet still inside of them.
I would take the feet out.
Okay. You pull it out, and you see that the flesh is kind of almost like grown into the inside of the boot a little bit, so you have to like he's like rip it out, and you see that there are like patches of the skin missing that you imagine are still down in the boot.
Ooh, take them back. Ooh. And I'll just throw it through the bars.
The boot or the foot?
The foot back.
Okay. Okay. But yes, you are left with 2 boots.
Alright, and I will leave Carl on my shoulder to rest. And then I will explore the other... I don't know which rooms I've explored, but...
So with that, your investigation check covered all the rooms. This is the only real thing that stood out to you.
Okay. And while I'm investigating everything... nah, I can't read. Never mind. It doesn't freaking matter. Nope, I'll just run back. Hey guys,
Okay.
this is pretty
So,
cool.
Jarek,
Can you look?
This is a pretty cool scope. I found boots that are magic in some way.
I think Rolly would.
Oh, JD, can you?
Oh, here I'll.
No, JD.
I'll take.
JD, I need you to clean these first. They have some very gross things in them. It was attached to a dead body that had like skin and it was really sloppy. Just need you to clean them.
I mean, I can try, yeah, and I'll take one of the boots and just knock it against the wall.
I meant to use magic, JD. Use magic.
Well, I mean, the magic's not going to get rid of the bones inside of it.
No, it's not bones, it's just skin. Oh, jeez. Okay.
You got to work it so it breaks off of the leather, Thor. Get a good massage of the boots to break off any of the dried flesh, and then prestidigitate what I can out of it.
I understand why people try to kill you now.
So with you guys kind of manhandling the boots more or less back and forth, they are like thick, like triple layered leather boots with a fur lining on the inside. And when you go to try and like move the leather around and like get inside of it, you realize that the top half of the boot that covers the foot is reinforced with some sort of like iron or steel or metal into the leather. So it's like a thick, rigid, hard, heavy boot.
Can I wear boots?
Yeah.
Like, and it not be considered wearing armor? I don't
If it doesn't add to your AC, I imagine you're fine.
Okay. I'll put them on.
Okay. You put them on. You can't quite discern anything besides they're pretty comfortable with the fur lining in them. As you guys are doing this, you see Sparky kind of just like wandering off to the northern hallway towards the next storeroom. His like body kind of covered in more fire as he's like still gnawing on a bacon sandwich and kind of just waddling away from you guys.
So we're just gonna let him burn everything, or did you guys? I mean, there were some notes in some of these buildings. You didn't want to look at those. Just want to light those on fire.
I would imagine that the notes are from whoever built the fort, not the Knowles.
Well, they might have information on the door.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
Thor,
won't-
where'd you see those notes?
What'd you? What were you gonna say? You said where were the notes? Well, I scrambled some up here in the jail cell. Oh yeah, you don't know where that is. It's up that hall to the right. Look for the barricaded door. You may or may not be able to fit through it. And there are some papers in there, and then there are papers in the barricades, which I don't know if you know where that is, but down the hall right here to your right. Oh, and then there were papers in the first room that we never looked at. But those are probably burned by now.
If you want Sparky to stop, I'm not going to argue. I just seemed like a good idea to me.
No, that's a genius idea. Let me get there before he burns them. And yeah, I'd like to go ahead and check out the jail cell. Taking my torch.
Okay.
White flower.
So, yes.
Would you please watch the exit of this level?
Well, I was going to say, as much as I enjoy lollygagging, our targets are probably above us, and we shall proceed.
I had hoped they would come down here once the smoke propagated.
Well, wouldn't we then lose the element of surprise?
We've already lost the element of surprise, White Flower.
Well, if they knew that we had arrived, why are they not here?
Because they're waiting to do to us what I'm hoping to do to them.
Well, I was never known for my tactical mind, so we shall wait.
Just a few moments more, at least.
Okay, so he's gonna watch the door. He's gonna try and retrieve his helmet from you, Thor, at this point.
Yeah, I would wait with him, and I'd just be like, "Oh yeah, thanks for the." Boink.
You just see his like deadpan skeletal face slowly being covered up by the helmet. He just like gives you a nod.
This was very
Good
helpful.
fighting, sir.
Yep. I mean, we really made a good tag team. You gave him a 1-2. I gave him a 1-2. We really pounded them into a corner, quite literally.
Quite.
Literally.
Figuratively.
Metaphorically. Yeah.
Are you okay?
In general, or what are we talking about here?
I mean, are you suffering from some sort of internal ailment?
I don't have any alcohol on me right now, so I guess no.
Precisely. And then he just turns to look at the stairs. Meeting of the minds.
Yeah, I'll just watch the stairs.
So, Jared, go give me a general investigation check. You're going around kind of gathering notes, looking at them, seeing what you find. Okay. So the bits of paperwork that you find over in the jail cell, a lot of them are like ledgers of who is in the cell, what crime they committed, how long they should be there, like personal information, names, that kind of thing. That's really the majority of the notes in here. If you do head down back to the first room you guys came in and looked over that, again, it's a lot of like documentation, and there aren't any like personal journals or diaries. It's ledgers of, received this grain shipment, saw this patrol. There's a lot of notes on, going back almost like a year or two. This patrol came up this ridge. We saw this many orcs crossing over this region, such and such day over such and such time. You do eventually find one ledger that catches your eye a little bit more than the others, and it is a receipt, almost a book of receipts of gifts and gold given to various people. Their names sounding distinctly kind of like harsh and brutish, to some of the names sounding almost familiar, but similar to like Hormtar or the Hobgoblin warriors that you saw before. Them being the recipient of the various amounts of wealth that are being dispensed.
Okay. In regards to the jail, was there anything that mentioned the guy in the right cell? Because I figure I could walk in and see that there's a footless skeleton there. that would maybe mention anything that would give me an idea of what the boots could do?
They don't really discern who's in what cell. Like, there's no, like, Jerry's in cell right and Timmy's in cell left. It's just, this person is in the cell for X amount of time for X crime.
Okay, gotcha.
What crimes? Who are they?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. If you dug into it, it isn't anything that would relate to boots. Two of them being like general thievery or attempts of thievery, being caught in an area that he shouldn't be. Last one being something. We'll go with two of them being thievery. I was not prepared for that one.
Yes, vagueness, indeed.
Yes.
All right.
The letters are all smudged.
Valorant, are you there next to me?
Yes, I am.
Or is that okay? I present you with the ledger of bribes and be like, Valorant, what do you make of this? It's a bunch of looks like bribes or maybe payments, payoffs.
Well, without having anything else to go off of, I would imagine that they were paying bribes to keep them from attacking, paying tribute.
That was my thought.
Seems odd. Seems counter to the purpose of a fort, but
Based on the numbers, how much wealth are we talking here that was
Average, you're seeing like 2,000 or 3,000 gold per transaction, but that can be like actual gold or like armor, weapons, equipment, various things like that, like maybe like building supplies, but it's a good amount of wealth being tossed around for each transaction.
All right, and is there any indication as to like a name of who's giving the wealth out?
No, it just lists the recipient.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Maybe we can find some of this up in the top floors for Lucky.
maybe I've been a bit hasty with Sparky.
No,
You
that
got
was
room
a
to carry
genius
this?
idea, Valorant.
At this point, Sparky comes walking around the corner, finishes bacon sandwich finally, both hands alight, kind of coming up to you guys.
Sparky, did you get the room where the weapons are?
No.
It's back where you lit the nose on fire.
Okay. And he like turns around and starts walking the other direction.
Righto, boss. Did you guys say anything about these notes? Or have you?
The ones in the south?
Yeah, like have you?
That's where the ledger came from, that room.
Okay.
Right, I guess whenever Sparky's done, we should probably see what's upstairs.
I think we can head up. He'll catch up with us.
Yeah, Valorant, I threw that armor out the hole in the next to the waterfall. Not out of the waterfall, but in that little area.
I understand. Good a place as any. We can get back there.
Okay.
And I guess
You all meeting up, yeah.
Real meeting
So-
of the minds.
As you guys approach, everyone kind of gathering in this hallway, Benny is looking down at Bloodcleaver again, like his head kind of like nodding along to some silent conversation that you can't hear. Before he like sees you approach, he goes, "Well, have we discovered everything that we need to find? Shall we proceed upwards?"
Yeah, do you guys want me to lead the way? I think I might be the quietest out of us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sneaky too. It's just, sometimes things go wrong, doors fall off hinges, you have to, improvise.
Well, you're a big boy, Thor. I think moving around these small spaces might be a little tough.
You think I'm a bigger boy than you?
Jericho will square up to his full not quite height. Yeah, I think so, Thor. Trying to puff out his moobs a little bit. And
So Benny's eyes is gonna, or his gaze is gonna move from Thor and Jarek up to Valorant in the back, and kind of like tilt his head to the side a little bit. He goes, "Is it always this slow?"
Slower.
Oh, what a gift!
I mean, we did have one guy who made it go faster, but he didn't last very long. Anyways.
White Flower, why
fine,
don't
Thor,
you...
go ahead?
You want me to go ahead? Alright, I'll go ahead. I got this.
Okay, so are you moving up separately, or is everyone moving with you?
I mean, JD, do you want to come with me?
I would.
We can stealth together. Just don't.
I've got the torch.
Oh, joy.
Okay. So you two are going up ahead?
Yo.
Okay. Go ahead and give me stealth checks. Benny's gonna fall like close behind you, and then Rolly and Valorant, like how are you proceeding? Staying back, staying here, proceeding far back?
Let's say 20-ish feet back.
Okay. So that's 17, 12 for you guys? Let me keep losing my dice.
You know what? I'm going to use my inspiration from X amount of sessions ago.
Okay.
And add a little d6 on that. Oh, wait, 18.
Ooh.
And
Okay. Very nice.
stealth bros.
Okay. So the staircase that you guys are ascending up is not just like one straight staircase. It's this like turning, twisting, back and forth, zigzagging, almost like coming over itself in various ways. And you are ascending the staircase for at least like 3 or 4 minutes before you begin to actually start hearing something up at the other end of it. But it's like you're going up at this point like 15, 20 flights of stairs. So, Jarek, you still have comprehend language, right? That's an hour, so it's probably still clocking along?
It should last an hour, yeah.
Okay. So if you guys continue up, which I'm assuming you do, keep going up and up the staircase, your companions following, various distances behind you, you begin to hear this, like, deep, booming voice. And again, you're kind of at this distance where you can't quite understand the words, but you do understand it is a voice speaking, more or less. But it's, like, so deep and kind of, like, earth-shaking that, like, it carries through the mountain into you guys, kind of shaking you to your core as you keep ascending the staircase closer and closer. It's maybe another, like, 2 or 3 minutes of you continuing upwards before you can actually start hearing the words being said. Let me go ahead and so let me go ahead and actually stop the creepy music and the mountain sound, because those are unnecessary. And I just did it stupid. Okay, this was supposed to be clean, but it's not clean at all, but that's okay. Okay, so as you are crawling up farther and farther, you hear this almost like chanting, banging, kind of like crowd almost kind of sound. And as that begins to die down, you hear a voice begin to speak in place of it. That's the wrong thing.
There we go. Brothers, we have gathered. This will be the beginning of the end of the filth that look down upon us. From our position of power we shall spread across their lands and bring the violence to them that they inflict upon us. They may try and stop us, they may cut us down, but they will not stop until we taste the flesh of their women, of their children. And you hear...
There we go. And then you hear the crowd more or less begin crying out yet again. It sounds, as you're getting closer and closer, it is very familiar to the, like, Knoll kind of cackling hyena-style laughter that is witnessing? I can't think of. Referring to a bigger group of them gathered. But that is what you hear, kind of up, not too much farther on this winding staircase you find yourself on.
Just to clarify, the language that Big Boy was speaking...
You're the only one who can understand at this point.
Yes, I happen to speak Infernal. Was it Infernal?
No.
No. Okay. And I'll just whisper back once everyone gets a little bit closer and be like, there's a big gathering up there. I don't know what they're doing, but it looks like they're getting ready for either a raid or sounds like maybe some kind of war party. They're really riled up.
I mean, yeah, I could tell that by the oh, yeah, I mean, I got that, general sense.
Okay. In terms of the stair, is there a way for me to creep up and just get like an eye look?
So as you go to like proceed forward, Thor, you feel Benny kind of slip by you, and Jarek, you feel him kind of like grab your wrist and hold you, and kind of pulls you to grab your attention. And he brings his face, which to you is just a metal helmet and a leather curtain, very close to yours, and he goes, "This is Holmtar the Mutilated. Do not underestimate him."
No. And I'm gonna boot scoot back, probably to the back of the group.
Where?
Oh, Benny's gonna turn to Thor, grab your hand, pull you in. Leonin warriors are known for their might. Even stronger than you, my lad.
I mean, it'll be alright. We'll all make it through. I mean, maybe not JD, you saw how but we won't tell him that. We'll make him believe he's okay.
Well, I will try my best to facilitate everyone getting out of here alive.
Yes, the facility is in need. I will try to creep up and see what I can see.
Okay, let me go ahead and...
Can pull my piece out.
Okay. Okay. So we'll put you guys back here. Valorant, you're still kind of hanging back a little bit.
Yeah, taking up the rear, but close enough that I know if they get shanked.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just throw this on. Okay. You back, Daniel?
I am back for now, yes.
Okay. So as you begin to start like slowly ascending the stairs, hearing this voice continue, still amping up the crowd that it is addressing, you slowly crawl higher and higher, getting on your hands and knees so you can just like barely kind of inch your eyes above the last step. And you look down and you see that the stairs led out into a hallway with, two doors, one on the left, one on the right, and then into a bigger room past that. And in this room, you see that it has like a nice high, tall ceiling, pillars kind of stretching up towards it, but like various bits of rubble and blood, debris, broken furniture is kind of filling the area. But besides that, there are one knoll that you can see now, but maybe like the arms and shoulders and backs of the others that are still gathered in the room, all looking up towards the north, waving their weapons, letting out cries, excitedly kind of chanting and yipping and yapping with each other. But that is what you're able to see from your position.
Okay. So they're facing to the north. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just kind of like, the telephone pass this information back.
Okay.
And then I'll just tell, basically everything that I'm about to do, I'm telephoning. I'm going to try to sneak up to this door.
Okay. No one's stopping you?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for like a telephone response. And if I get none, I'll start walking.
All right, roll me a stealth check.
Okay. Wait, what? What just happened? Nothing. Cool.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't I have something? Do I have an inspiration die? I don't remember. I think I did.
No, I don't think you do.
I thought I did. Maybe that was the other campaign. Who knows?
So 11?
Yep, I guess so. I have no inspiration or anything that I know of.
Okay. So you begin to start like crawling up the steps, now on the actual level with the other various gnolls and beings in this building. You begin to start crawling down the hallway, and you hear that voice that you still can't discern, still booming, filling the air, appearing to just kind of cut through the stone and wood walls and just hitting your ears with this like clarity that almost like puts you off a little bit as you're trying to sneak. And it's hard to really like get a gauge of your level of noise you're making with this voice being so filling. And you get like just to there, you're just about to get to the door before you kind of like shuffle on the carpet a little bit too much, and you slide and your elbow knocks the wooden wall, and you pause for a moment, and you see the gnoll that is in front of you kind of past the pillars and the broken furniture. As it was like crying out, it kind of pauses for a moment, looks up and goes but does not turn to see you yet.
Okay. I'm gonna try to make it to this door.
Okay. Good. Give me stealth check again.
Okay.
Okay. So as you're like frozen for a moment, watching him sniff, you're like, okay. And you go to like grab the door, and as you like shift your attention to the door to make sure you can grab it, you look back up, and as you look up, you see that your eyes are locked with the gnoll who's now looking at you. So let's go ahead and roll initiative, shall we? Let me add the turn order, and let me give you all turns. There, and there. Okay. Okay. Everyone in? Oh, I need to roll Benny. Do you need a roll for Rolly, Jarek?
His initiative is +0.
Yours 15.
Okay.
10. Okay. Wrong order. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stack you guys here so you guys can like actually see yourselves. Okay. Well, Thor, you get to act first, which is fitting. So at this point, they haven't reacted, but you know you've been spotted. You're like stopped. You connect eyes with him, and you see him go.
I'll just look back and say, well, I had to try, and I'll try to push through this door.
Okay. So it's unlocked, so you can just open it and go through. Let me go ahead and... Why does it keep doing this? Give me the right... No. It keeps trying to, like, hide it instead of reveal it. There we go. Okay. So that is the room that you were running into. It appears to be kind of like a grander bedroom built into the fortress that you kind of shove the door and run inside. It's definitely been like ransacked and tossed around a little bit, but that's what you get to see.
Okay. And there's like nothing that indicates a stairwell up.
No, this is just a room.
Awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for. So I will... Let's see, that was 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. What do I see?
Yeah, let me go ahead and boink. Okay. So, as you dart into the room, opening the door, look around, you're like, fuck! Run back outside, run down the hallway. You are opened up to what was once kind of like a great hall, almost like greeting area. Very similar to what you kind of seen in Kraylin, but much smaller. Kind of like the miniature version of that. Down to your south, so to your right, you see where like two giant, elegant wooden doors had been like built into the stone wall, has been smashed down. I'll actually give you a little bit of vision outside, because there's like various windows and doors here. Yeah, so you look to your right, and you see that the doors have actually been burst off their hinges, laying on the ground, leaving the air of the mountain kind of drifting into this room. The rest of the room is filled with, like, various bits of carnage and dead bodies and skeletons and skulls and blood. There's a fistful of gnolls filling the room, that all their attention was turned north at, like, the kind of raised throne area of the room, but now they're all locked over on you. And up to the north, you see this 10-foot tall, massive, lion-like humanoid. He has go ahead and give me a quick wisdom saving throw, by the way. He has this, like, thick white mane that kind of rolls down his back, and he is covered in various repurposed bits of armor. He has, like, gigantic ripped muscles that are toned with just a little bit of, like, the fur on top of it, giving this almost like fuzzy appearance. Oh, nice. And he is stood there, kind of like hunched over a little bit, one of his hands resting on the throne next to him, where some skeleton been strapped to the throne beside him. And as you lock eyes with him, he looking up at you, like realizing you've stumbled into the room, you see your face plastered over where his should be. A Goliath gray Thor face filling where what you would imagine this kind of rough looking lion head should be, and it kind of looks at you, and a little smirk plays at the edge, your 3 little scars so prominent on its face, and it kind of like hunches over a little more, the eyes squinting a little bit.
You are mighty foolish coming here alone.
Oh, this is the wrong party. My bad. And what is that wisdom? Like, can I move towards him still?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Then I would like to rage.
Okay.
And I will...
quick point of order. These, like, bits of furniture and tables and barricades are difficult terrain. Like, hopping over about 5-10 feet tall, like waist height almost. Well, for some of you. So just keep that in mind. So the room's kind of sectioned off into, like, little alleyways.
Okay. Is this rough terrain?
No, that's free to move between the pillar and the table.
Okay. 30, 35. And then I'll kind of back myself up to this wall here and make it 40.
Okay.
And I would like to attack this gnoll twice.
Okay, go for it, sir. Okay, that's 2 hits.
That is 14 and 12, so 26.
Are you using your sword's ability?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
What else am I going to use it on?
So you come darting into the room, and you see the mess of gnolls not staring at you, and then some twisted version of yourself greeting you with this horribly thick, clear voice, and you're like, oh fuck! Trudging along, kind of slipping beside this gnoll, and quickly kind of like dash your blade across its chest, letting out a kind of cry before you jam the blade through it, and you feel its soul being sucked into your sword, and then reproduce as its body goes limp, and the spectral figure comes slowly floating out of its corpse. So give him the green.
I would just say I totally meant to do that. And I will, yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, so Jarek, we are to you, sir. You just saw your companion run into a room, and the voice that you can understand, I guess Thor, you would not have understood that voice. You heard the, I guess, threat that Thor received, and now it is up to you.
Oh shit. I'll midge up to there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can basically see everyone that's in this area,
yeah,
and this area and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Probably can't see those. Okay. Take one look at the big guy. 25. And I'll go ahead and do kind of a quick clap and cast Shatter on him.
Okay.
Throw that out there. And cast.
10-foot radius. So that is him. So, and the spectral being. So those.
Okay. And I don't
Constitution
think I get
saving
an
throw?
option to... Yeah. And...
My
yes.
my spirit takes damage.
It's in range.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's a 14 Constitution saving throw. You already rolled 15. What was the 17 for?
Oh, I didn't realize it rolled for me. Okay.
No, you're good. Okay. So big guy fails. He succeeds. Fail. Succeed. Fail. So what is the success and failure?
Full damage.
Half
on-
damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So Thor, as you see your spectral figure raise from its corpse, you hear, and then all of a sudden you see it blasted away. The spectral energy kind of like fading into this mist, disappearing instantly. You are going to murder this guy. What was the damage? So minus
15.
Yeah, and then is there any other effects, or is it just damage?
Anything non-magical that is not being worn will also take that damage. So I assume the table. Oops, wrong.
Okay.
Use the table and
so you-
the throne and everything.
You come rushing in, clap, and you see 3 of the gnolls that were stood around, all of them like lurch with the force, kind of being flung, some of them hitting the pillars and like hitting the tables and whatnot, like crunching some of the kind of like loose, rough, rotten furniture, laying dead. You see the Hormtar who stood atop this kind of raised platform. He kind of like flinches and flexes, and you see his eyes lock with you. Give me a wisdom saving throw there, Jarek.
Oh, gladly.
It kind of like flinched and curled into itself when it took the blow, and when it lifts back up and looks at you, you see your face plastered where you would assume its face would be. So you are looking at this rather unfamiliar, like rage-filled Jarek face with this like kind of smirk playing on the edge of his lips. It's like stared down at you.
Oh, so you are who we hate most. Ha!
Okay. That was good. You have anything else for me, Jarek?
And then just call out, Thor, get your ass back over here.
JD, you killed my.
So as you guys are talking, Benny goes hauling ass up the steps, kind of like rushing past you, Jarek, and he stops, he enters the hall, and you see he has both of his swords drawn, and he points Bloodcleaver up at the raised platform with Hormtar kind of still like curled up on top of there. You, sir, will be dead today, and I shall be your killer. And then he like goes rushing forward towards it. He's not going to be able to reach it fully. He's going to get to there. But he is like rushing towards the kind of raised podium of the room. And so we're to Knowles. Fun stuff. And then Hormtar. Okay. We'll go here, 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 here. Yeah. Okay. So as your introduction is made and the shatter plays out and Thor's spectral figure is blasted away, you see the Knolls kind of like turn to you, all of their various like gazes of surprise and shock, anger, aggression, like turn towards you, and they all start pounding over the furniture, sending them like scattering across the stone floor as they're like leaping over the tables and coming at you with various crude weapons. Thor, you are going to not get hit. Benny is going to not get hit. Jarek, you are going to not get hit. I just rolled 3 nat 1s in a row. I don't think I've ever done that before.
I mean, I know your rolls are bad, but I didn't know they were that.
That's nasty bad. Okay, so let me make sure. 1 second. Okay. So as his Knolls kind of converge and turn and attack the various people coming in, Benny stepping in and calling him out, you see Hormtar kind of just like looking over all of you, kind of chuckling himself a little bit, and then just like slowly walks off the podium. And as he does so, Thor, you I guess would see this most clearly, he reaches down to his side and draws a sword out. And this sword is this kind of massive, it would be two-handed for most individuals, but he's wielding it with one. But it's this massive kind of like rainbow-looking blade. It is built out of various gems like emeralds and rubies and sapphires that make up different chunks of this blade. It's this crude, kind of jagged, kind of haphazardly sharp blade. He pulls it out, and you see him like whisk it in front of himself a little bit, and then he just points it in your direction. And you see the blade shatter, breaking into the various different gems, and then all of the gems, which are kind of sharp and pointed their own way, come flying at you in this flurry of like glistening jewelry, basically, comes flying in your direction. Your AC is 17? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make sure I have his thing right. Okay. Okay, you're raging?
Yeah, do I need to make any saves or anything?
No.
Okay.
So you take 3 points of damage, but you see these shards go shooting out, and you kind of like just catch them a little bit as you see them coming your way. You like dodge back. A lot of them kind of like scraping across your front, but you see them impale into the wall behind you, like the wooden wall to your left, and it's like thunk, 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 thunk. It's like 20 odd so bits of like gems sink into the wood. And you see them like quivering a little bit in place as they're sat there, and you see Hormtartus go and then whip the blade back, or the hilt that's left in his hand, and you see the gems come flying back the other direction. Taking 3 points of damage yet again. And so as you're like, what the? You just like hear them like slicing across your chest again. You're like, fucking son of a. And it goes like flying back through the air, connecting back into the hilt to reform the blade as he kind of gives it like a quick swish in his hand, and just kind of like looks at you with like a smirk still on his lips. Okay.
Whose face does he have at the moment?
Well, Thor sees Thor. Jarek sees Jarek.
Gotcha.
So, Rolly Jr., you're up, sir.
Rolly will jump on over to here.
Mm-hmm.
And calling out, "The hells hath no fury like the first mother scorned." And he'll go ahead and cast Sacred Flame, Dex of 16.
Okay. It fails. Okay.
That'll be max damage. Damn.
So Rolly comes charging up the staircase, letting out his prayer to the mother as his flame comes spewing out of his hand. Why does Rolly do so much better when not controlled by Rolly? But Jarek, as you're like dodging and diving from the various attacks coming from the gnolls, you feel the heat of his flame go like over your face, colliding with the gnoll in front of you, and you hear it like starts like trying to bat itself off, and then as it like turns back to you, you see like half of its face is completely blown away, just leaving a little bit of burnt, sinewy flesh on its skull as like and just like collapses away from you.
Bro, sick damage.
And I think, how much was that? 5, 10 to 15, 20, 20. I think Rolly would probably move up to there.
Okay.
And,
anything else, sir?
I think Rolly would be good with that.
Okay, Valorant, you've heard all this commotion going on in front of you. Being the last one up the staircase, you are now coming up to the top, seeing, Rolly blast one away, hearing commotion going on in the room in front of you, and you are entering the field, sir.
I'm at the top of the stairs?
Yeah, we'll put you there.
Okay. So I will move up behind Jarek and cast Heroism on myself.
Okay.
And that will give me 5 temporary hit points at the beginning of each of my turns and make me immune to fright.
Oh, okay.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Rolly, go ahead, give me a wisdom saving throw real quick. But Thor will be coming back. Oh, actually, no, wait, 1 second. Okay. So Rolly, I guess I'll give this to everybody since he's not here. As he storms forward into the, I actually forgot to move Hormtar, my bad. He comes storming into the room, blasting away with the gnolls. He looks over to see Hormtar, and he is the first one to see Hormtar's true face. It is what you would imagine what a lion's face would look like, but his snout and his muzzle has been almost like ripped and torn and bent in the wrong direction, kind of pointing off to the left as like a lot of the flesh and skin has been like peeled back and it's been like scarred over and regrown, leaving this like nasty, horrible, permanent frown on his face. And there's big scratches and gouges like crawling up his face, up to his forehead, like leaving the majority of his face kind of just like beaten, scarred, torn. Like it is almost unrecognizable as what you would imagine a normal looking Leonin warrior would look like. But that is the face Rolly sees as it like connects with Rolly and gives him that kind of like smirking look. But okay, so now as you were all fighting, all the commotion going on, you hear outside, who's closest to a window? Thor, give me perception check.
Easy mode. I have the highest perception known to man.
Okay. So as you see your spectral figure blown away, your ears ringing a little bit from the shockwave that Jarek brought on, and you're like trying to keep track of everything that's going on. To your south, so to your right, you hear a lot more like gnoll flavored noises, hackling, calling, laughing outside like the big door and the like various windows down to your south. But to your north, to your left, there's a window just past a kind of raised throne area that's barred up. You hear the sound of a loud, clear, like trumpet horn ringing through the air. Okay. And
is that familiar to me at all?
Go ahead and give me a history check.
Heck yeah, dude. I read books once.
So from your knowledge as a warrior and your travels, to you, your best guess is it's some sort of war horn, but it's too clear and like tinny to be like made out of a tusk or an animal part. It's definitely like a metal war horn.
As in, like, I don't think they could have made this.
That's all I can really give you.
I know.
But yeah, so as that's going on, you hear the gnolls that are outside start pouring in. One of them bursting through the wide doorway, one coming through where a smashed window had been. Valor, and as you were running down the hallway, you hear to your south in the room that you passed the sound of glass shattering, and then a gnoll kind of like cackling and scraping across the woodwork is kind of coming from that door behind you. But now it's your turn, Thor.
I would like to come into this space.
Okay.
And this gnoll is engaged with Benny, correct?
Yes.
So I will strike him.
Okay. Okay.
So that is...
Yeah, you kill it.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that one?
So that was what the dice roll was, 5. So that's, yeah, you would.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so you step forward, Hormtar kind of squaring up with you as he's like flourishing his blade again. You just kind of like slice the neck of the gnoll to your right as it just collapses onto Benny, and Benny's like, "Argh!" But
then,
yeah, so you dealt with him.
Do I use my second attack on the guy?
Do you want to use it to the one to your north?
Yeah, and I wouldn't have
advantage,
but it's still...
the first one was 20, yeah. So yeah, you would hit.
And that is 15.
Okay, so he also is disposed of. So you gotta like step out of your corner, just like bam, bam. And you're like, okay.
And then I will step into Hormtar space.
Okay.
And I will just stand there and be like, you have something that I want, but you look like me. So do I already have? I'm just here to kill you.
And, yeah, as you speak to him, you hear him like speaking back at you, but it's in this like rough, kind of like almost fluid but very dark tone that you can't understand. But he's like,
I don't speak stupid. I mean, I do, but I don't.
But okay, so that's your turn, sir.
Does he say anything important?
Not really.
Okay.
We'll leave it up to the imagination. But yeah, so Jarek, it is now your turn, sir.
Oh. I'll go ahead and slip around Rolly up to here.
Okay.
So based on that movement, so that's 5, 10, 15. Okay. Take a look at Hormtar.
Yeah.
And just yell out at him, sorry, I had my insults pulled up. Somewhere you're depriving a village of its idiot, and I would know, because that's my face. And hit him with some vicious mockery.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw of 14.
He succeeds.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Any effects off of that, or no?
It must succeed or it takes. So yeah, he succeeded.
Okay. He just kind of like looks over at you, not quite understanding it, and like walks back with Thor.
And I'll go ahead and look at Thor and give him a quick healing.
Don't do it.
It's not going to be much,
I know.
but just in case. And squeeze a little light juice out of my belly and just kind of flick it on him, and be like, "I hope you feel better."
All right. Well,
Yeah.
just
Instead of the like ray that shoots with your general kind of healing power, it's almost just like wet splurp, like a single glob of like pew, and it like lands on your shoulder, Thor, and you see like one of the scratches that was caused by the gems like slowly kind of re-heals, and that's it.
Thanks, JD. Really appreciate that.
Is that all you got, sir? Anything else?
I like it.
Okay. Let me double check something with Benny real quick. Okay, cool. So Benny is gonna go stomping up to Hormtar. He hasn't engaged with you yet, Thor, so I'm not gonna give him flanking. But he's gonna go ahead and like square up with him. You can see like his demeanor has actually changed from the kind of like stiff, mechanical, like emotionless movements that he had before, where you can actually tell that like there's a little bit of like quivering and shaking in his movements, where he's like more emotional than you've seen before. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. 3, 6, of course, I have to do all the math with Benny. Jesus. Okay. Oh, okay. Got a lot of shit going on this round. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Okay. So Benny goes like sliding in front of him as Thor, as you're squared up with him, and you see him drawing his blades are drawn, kind of like reaffirming the grip on his blades, and he kind of like brings them both down in one swipe, like cutting the same place twice with both blades, and you see Hormtar kind of like catching them on his left arm, like slash. He's like holds it up, like holding back the blow, and as the blade meets the flesh, you hear this tremendous roar coming from the gut of Hormtar in front of you as he like tilts his head back and lets out this scream that shakes you to your core, and it fills the room to the point where it's hard to really even figure out what's going on. It like shakes your mind for a moment. So everyone except Valoran, roll me a wisdom saving throw. Okay. Thor, are you using your goddamn lucky die? Oh, that's Rollies. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Thor, you are stunned. So let me go ahead and give you... What should we do? Stunned. This? Sure. Let me remind you what that is so I can remind myself.
That is kind of like a skip you on like a Uno.
A stunned creature is incapacitated, can't move, and can only speak falteringly. The creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws, and attack rolls against it have advantage. Okay?
For how long?
for this round at least. You'll be able to retry. You are stunned. Benny is stunned. Jarek, you are frightened. What should we do? Frightened. I don't know. Bolt of lightning? Sure. Rolly is frightened. So frightened, for those of you who don't remember, because I don't, a frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is in line of sight, and the creature cannot move towards the source of its fear.
Ouch.
So, Benny strikes into his flesh, this roar coming out, and Thor, as you're like looking up at it, you have fought incredibly strong individuals before, and you've faced some pretty intimidating things, but as you look up at this massive warrior in front of you, for the first time in a long time, you genuinely fear what might happen as your muscles just like refuse to move and you lock up. So Benny caused that reaction, so now we're to Hormtar? No, the Knolls had an initiative before him, so we'll go ahead and do him. So he's there, he'd go there, probably go there, 5, 10, 15, 20, there, okie dokie. So, we'll do, so Frightened doesn't do, no. Okay, so 2 attacks on Rolly, 1 attack on Jarek, 1 range attack on Jarek, and 1 attack on Valorant. Oh, but you get your spear thingy-majibber. Go ahead and roll that for me. So 18... hits Rolly, miss Rolly, miss Jarek, hit Jarek. Okay, so you kill it. So as the Knoll comes bursting out of the door behind you, Valor, you're kind of whipping around with a little bit of surprise. You just kind of lash the glaive out, and as it's going to like lurch forward, you just cut its head clean off, and it just kind of stumbles against the wall and slides and falls and collapses into a heap. So he's gone. So 1 hit Rolly. Rolly's gonna take 8 points of damage, and Jarek, you are going to take 10 points of damage.
My AC is only 13, in case that changes one of the... I think you said 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
He rolled a 1.
You said
So.
10?
Yeah, 8 for Rolly, 10 for you. I'll go ahead and mark the 8 off of Rolly. So, as the Knolls come pouring into the openings, come racing forward, you're a little bit overwhelmed, both by like the immense fear being poured from Hormtar and the Knolls coming to your back. Rolly not quite able to get his shield up in time as he's being struck multiple ways, and then Jarek, as you're kind of being attacked on various angles from the other Knolls, to your east, in front of you, one of the Knolls kind of circles around, like prowling almost as a predator, as he's like pulling his bow up, letting loose an arrow as you feel it sinking into your shoulder, where you'd been struck the previous day, just adding salt to the wound. But that's a Knoll, so now we're to Hormtar. Let me go to... I have so many things to pull up. This is getting a bit too much, but that's fine. Okay. So, having Benny being the one who struck him and actually dealt damage, Hormtar's going to turn to him and just like shake his head a little bit as he draws up the sword, the like kind of rainbow glowing jagged sword. Whoop. I threw my dice again. I need another d20. I'm running out of them. So he gets advantage on all of them. So that's a hit. That's a hit. And it does... Is that enough to... Yes. Okay. So, as you see the slices cut, the roar come out, and he squares up with Benny. You see him strike once with the sword, and for the first time, you see Benny's helmet kind of like lift up a little bit, and his head seems to be like pulling away from his body, one of the like ligaments of his spine kind of like pulling too far. And as it does, you see the second blow come and just pull his head clean off, sending it sailing across the room as the armor that Benny was wearing that held him in place comes crumbling into pieces, all of his bones like separating into this pile of bones, basically, with like the various bits of armor kind of like piled on top of each other as he just crumples into nothing. So, Rolly, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw to start your turn. Okay, so you will not be frightened next turn, but you are frightened this turn.
Okay. Rolly's scared.
Oh, wait 1 second. Oh, you get disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, but not saving throws?
Under
frightened? Yeah. I don't know if you
advantage on ability checks and attack rolls. That's not a saving throw.
Yeah. So that's okay. Never mind. Keep going.
Okay. I think Rolly, being scared, would call down upon the mother and request some backup and cast Yield Spirit Guardians.
Let me go and put that on him. It's a 15-foot radius, right?
Correct.
Okay. So that's there. Those three will have it. So they have to do 16. So that is a fail, a success, and a fail. And it's 17. Okay. So as he calls upon the spiritual guardians, beginning to dance around him and strike. Let me make sure, because that's not an attack roll. Yeah, that's true. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. Because technically it's a concentration spell and he's frightened. Just want to see if he can actually summon it.
You said saving throw?
Yeah, Constitution saving throw. I think I'm going to say that he can't bring himself to do it with the fear that he's dealing with. I won't have you expend the slot, though. He just cannot bring himself to cast it.
Thank you. So a waste of action, correct? Or a diminishment of action, and then... okay, and he can't move. Shit.
He can move, he just can't move towards Hormtar.
Yeah.
And if he's out of line of sight with Hormtar, he doesn't have the disadvantage on attacks and ability. But you are losing the fear next turn.
Right, I don't think he would get out of anywhere. Bonus action, spiritual weapon.
Okay.
That's a bonus action. Okay.
Is that also a concentration spell, or is that a summon?
No, that's just a summon.
Where are you putting it?
We'll do here. No, damn it.
Just okay. Okay. That's totally not a mug, but okay.
Yeah. And then I do not recall the ruling on attack or no attack.
Yeah, you can't attack the turn summon, but it is technically a spell attack, so you're going to get disadvantage because you're frightened.
Okay.
Right?
How did I do such? Just click that button twice. Okay.
Okay. So that's a 13? Yeah, that is a miss.
Okay.
Okay, so he summons it up, after he couldn't quite bring the spiritual guardians to fruition, kind of like looking down to the knoll to his south, hoping that his spiritual weapon can do something, but it kind of swings around the knoll's head, kind of circling it before returning back to its original position without actually dealing a blow. Valorant, it's now your turn, sir.
So I think I'll dip over. I just want to peek around the door to see if there's anybody else in that room.
Why does it keep doing that? There we go.
And it is empty?
It's empty, yeah.
Okay.
There is a broken window to the south, but it is empty.
All right. I am going to move here. Mm-hmm. And could I attack this one with cover?
The one in the middle?
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward spot, but...
Yeah, using your glaive to reach?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Are you looking at the lovely Hormtar in the north?
No.
Okay.
No, I got more immediate problems at the moment.
Okay. That's a 15?
Yeah.
Misses.
Okay, number 2. Sorry, that third one.
So just the 10? Yeah. Yeah, that is also a miss.
And my little bonus.
That is a miss.
All right, well.
As you're trying to reach over Rolly, trying to attack, he keeps bumping into your legs as he's trying to back up a little bit, kind of jostling you as your blade keeps swinging wildly back and forth.
It was worth a try.
Okay. Let's go ahead, top of the round. Okay. So, Thor, even though you are frightened, and you are, like, desperately locked in fear with Hormtar, again, you hear a second blast of the war horn to the window to your north.
I'm stunned.
Yeah, you're good. And 2 more gnolls come pouring into the room. And it's your turn, sir.
Okay, and that ends my turn.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw. My bad.
Is it wisdom for being stunned?
For this, yes.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. You are not going to be stunned next round, but you're going to be frightened next round.
Okay.
Okay. Okie dokie. So, Jarek, to you, sir.
So I'm scared. The wisdom save, is that at the beginning or end of the turn?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll it. Even though it doesn't take place until the end, it helps you know what you might be going for next round. You are still going to be frightened next round.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. I think I will... Jarek is afraid. He was going to look at the Hormtar and scream loudly, and attempt to cast some dissonant whispers.
Okay, at Hormtar?
Second level, wisdom saving throw 14.
Okay, he fails.
Oh, really?
So that's... Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So, yeah, 15 psychic damage, and now he needs to run his ass away from me. See how he likes it.
Okay, so just as far away as you can from you?
Move as far as its speed allows away from me. Doesn't move into obviously dangerous ground.
Okay.
Am I still like...
So you would get attack of opportunity, but you have disadvantage.
Yes. That was my push.
Oh, you went around without taking or dealing damage, right?
Yeah.
So are you out of rage?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say it, but...
So go ahead and roll. That is a miss.
Yep.
So you go to lash out as Hormtar, for the first time, the smirk kind of fades, and you see him kind of like look down at his hands, like a little bit confused, and then you see him lock eyes with Jarek, and then they go wide, and he turns and begins to run, like using his knuckles to kind of pound on 4 like arms and legs away from you into the corner, kind of whipping around and kind of like trying to guard himself with his sword from you. So that would be your turn. Now it's the Gnoll's turn again. We'll go ahead and go there. And there. So Rolly's gonna get 2. You're gonna get 1. You're gonna get 2. We'll start with Rolly. That hits. Wow, that hits. That's not good. That's 8 damage to Rolly. And then Jarek, I'll let you get melee attack by 1. That hits. You take 8 damage. And then I'm gonna let you get shot by 1. Thor's gonna get shot by 1. Okay, misses you. Hits Thor. 10 damage. Stone endurance. You had a long rest, right?
Yeah, but I don't have a reaction.
Oh. Wait, no, you do, because you're just frightened at this point. Oh, but you... Yeah. Okay. Yep. So that's 10. Yeah, I guess that's the Gnoll's turn. So Hormtar, with the Dissonant Whispers, does he just recover from that, or does he have to save from that?
Yeah, he's good. He's good now.
Okay. Let's see. How far is that? Okay. So he is going to go rushing down this way, seeing that more and more combatants are pouring through this hallway. And you see him kind of like jump over the barricade, landing as there's a new amount of aggression on his face, taking the sword and flicking it. The gems flying through you, heading towards Valoran. So his first attack goes through Jarek, Rolly, and Valoran. I'll just do one attack. Misses everyone but Jarek. Jarek, you take 6 damage. Are you still alive?
I'm insulted you would ask. Yes, I'm still there.
Is that a joke?
Okay. So the gems go flying, and you see a bunch of them sticking into Jarek's flesh as he's like frantically trying to pull them out, and they're flying out of his hand, still continuing on their trajectory. Rolly kind of pushing them away with the shield, Valoran kind of ducking enough so they go flying back. But as they kind of reach 5 or 10 feet past you, Valoran, they turn around, and Hormtar flicks the hilt back, and they come flying towards you again. So that is going to miss everybody. As you'd seen the first strike go through, you all are very aware of the second as you all duck as the gems go flying back into their position. He kind of flicks the sword back into place. Now we're down to Rolly.
Okay. Gathering his courage up again, he's gonna call upon the mother and try and cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay. So that way, the radius again. Okay. So that is 16, and it gets all the nulls. Failure, 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 failure. Awesome. Okay. So as the gems get deflected and they come sailing back, Rolly looking around at the mess that is quickly becoming the situation around him and pushing away the fear, reaffirming his control and his confidence with the First Mother. He brings back his spiritual guardians. They come rushing from the earth, almost appearing of being like spurted out of the ground, and they appear all around the gnolls as they look around in panic as they begin just start wailing on the gnolls, and you see them start like crumpling, and you hear bones cracking as they're almost dragged into the earth and then pounded on over and over again, and that's going to get rid of all of them.
You still have your hammer. Or your beer mug, whatever.
Yeah, the spiritual weapon, yeah.
And as well as movement. I think Rolly would probably move right up to there.
So that's 10, 20, 25?
Yeah.
Because he's going over 2 tiles of difficult terrain?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go ahead and roll Null 1. Fails. Hormtar succeeds. Null 2 fails. So, wow, I did not think about how insanely stupid powerful this is going to be, but that's okay. So, Rolly, as he beats down the swarm of gnolls beating at your ankles, as he sees Jarek is frightened, he just like gives you a quick pat on the ass and goes running past you. And you see his spiritual guardians like clawing from the earth, almost like you would imagine like skeletal figures coming out of the grave, like pulling these gnolls down and then beating them senseless with various like flasks and mugs and whatnot, beating them both. As Hormtar just like looks around at the spiritual like angelic dwarves, just kind of like chuckling along as he sees his companions being beaten to death.
And I think he would throw his old spirit weapon right up to attack, and let's see if I remember how to.
That is a hit. That's 6 damage.
I believe so.
Okay, so as all the commotion's going on and Hormtar's just looking around, he isn't even noticing this flying spiritual mug coming towards his face before it claps him on the side. And like tries looking around, spotting where it is and kind of like narrowing his eyes at it. Okay, so now Valoran, we're to you, sir.
All right. 5, 15, 25, 30.
Yep.
And going to attack. Number 1. Oh yeah.
That hits.
Here it comes. There's that.
So that is
14.
10, 14. Okay.
And
Do
a
it.
level 2 smite.
Let's go.
Fuck you, Valoran. Fuck you.
I was waiting. I was sitting here thinking, boy, I hope I get a crit.
I swear to God.
It's a 3d8 radiant. Yes, it's 3d8.
I remember this.
Oh, he's immune to radiant damage. Oh, wow.
He's a holy lion.
So that's 24 plus 14, so that's 28 now?
Yeah.
And that's all for the first attack.
Okay.
It's
There you go.
26.
Number 2.
26?
Yeah. Because 14 plus 12.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't know why I added
Oh, wait.
14, 14.
Wait.
No, it's 24, because it's
24
doubled.
plus 14.
So it's 38.
Oh, yeah, 38. Okay, my bad.
Jesus Christ. Okay, 13 misses.
And the bonus. Okay.
Misses. So 38 damage total?
Still happy with it.
God damn it.
And so Valor, anxious to get out of the hallway, and these two goobers have finally cleared the way, and so he comes bounding over this wreckage, and brings his glaive in that first attack in an overhead arc, and it hits and sticks, and then flashes white, and is sort of pushed back out of his hide by the force of this blast. And Valoran says, "Rabid pets will be put down."
Did
So, yes.
did he make his like face roll or whatever?
Oh, yes. Valoran, give me a quick wisdom saving throw. Thank you, Daniel. Why are you on this? Okay.
Great.
It appears as Hormtar's face, but thank you. So Valoran, as you come storming into the room with this confidence that, like, you are ready, you have been ready, like, this is your moment, you, like, deftly jump over the, like, different bits of furniture and, like, tables that are knocked over, rushing up to Hormtar, and as you see Hormtar is kind of staring into the spiritual weapon that is summoned. You know, this guy is 10 feet tall, he's a big boy, so he's taller than you, and as you bring the glaive swinging, he doesn't see it coming as it comes slicing through the spiritual mug, kind of dispersing it for a second before the mug kind of congeals back into its place. But the blade comes swinging down, striking him up in the shoulder. And as it strikes, you see him like finally realize what's going on as he looks down at the blade. And as he looks down, the white glow beginning to like seal and like push itself up before a big blast of energy shoves your glaive out of the wound as this looks like shoulder goes rolling back. This wild roar coming out, not even like a controlled like cry of war, more of a cry of pain as you send this massive figure kind of like stumbling a bit, reaching up to grab the wound. And now that he's aware of you, your next two strikes coming out, he's like kind of deftly moving away as quickly as he can, trying not to get struck by something like that yet again. So cool, fantastic, love you, Valoran. Let's see. Okay, so top of the round, we got a bunch of new boys coming in. As more and more commotion is building up outside, gnolls keep pouring in. As you look off, like, through the door and into the courtyard, it appears to just be, like, a swarm of enemies out there, kind of never ending as they trail across, like, the big courtyard that's eventually ended by the walls farther away. So they come running in. Thor, it is your turn. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
You got
So
it.
you'll be frightened this round, but if you succeed...
I'll be frightened for every round.
Hey! So you will not be frightened next round, but you are frightened this round.
Why is this book? Okay. I will. What? In the.
You can't move towards him.
I know.
You-
I know.
yeah.
Hold on. I gotta use this thing. In these, what is considered hard terrain? Like, is this one considered harsh terrain, or just these two?
Here and these, like, 6.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. 15, 25, 35. You can basically get behind Valorant and that's it. I'll just.
Well, you'd be technically moving closer to him, going that way.
I think it's always because I'm like 15 feet away from him.
Yeah, I guess if it's always. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I was looking at, but
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll take it.
okay. I'll just kind of move through here. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to hit him in a second. I'm just, making sure Carl's okay. And I will end my turn right there.
Okay.
Actually,
so you will be.
I'll rage. Bonus action.
Okay. Cool. Jarek, to you, sir. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
Come on. You will be frightened next round.
That's lovely. You know what? Don't fix what ain't broken. I think I'll go ahead and still terrified. Go ahead and just let out another shriek. And oh shit, I lost my webpage. Just scream and try and implant Jarek's own fear.
Mm-hmm.
Tar. Oh my god.
So it's a DC 14?
Yes.
He succeeds.
Ah.
Sorry, brother.
And, no, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and in that case, squeeze out some of my belly light and try and heal myself.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Solid.
And that will be it for me.
Okay. So, Knowles. Let's see if they're smart enough not to just commit suicide. Okay, I'll take that. So, as they come running in, they see all of the dead Knoll bodies that are still being viciously beaten by the spiritual guardians of Rolly, kind of realizing that's not the way to go. They're all just going to start drawing their bows and take ranged attacks. We'll do one on Jarek, one on Thor, one on Valoran. Jarek misses. Thor hits. Valoran, what's your AC?
17.
That's a hit. So, Thor, you're raging, correct? 3 damage. Valoran, 3 damage. I love it. It's fantastic. So useful. Okay. Oh, because you're doing
I'm concentrating
concentration
on heroism.
Thank you. What is Hormtar going to do? Hormtar will first have to see if he... Okay, beats Spiritual Guardian, so he just takes half damage. Okay, I know what he's going to do. It was 10 damage? Was it Spiritual Guardians? What was it?
Yeah. It was 10.
Okay, so he takes 5. Gotcha.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yep. Okay. He is going to step forth, kind of like batting away the spiritual weapon in front of him, kind of stepping up to Rolly, seeing as he's been like massively demolishing his like army around him. Is going to bring up the kind of gleaming rainbow sword towering over Rolly, because this guy's twice the height of Rolly, and just bear down on him with an attack. Nope. Ooh, he's going to hit. Whoa! I threw my dice. That might have been my last D20. We'll find out. He is going to take 6 damage, and then he is going to reach to his side and pull out a small, kind of rough-looking water skin and quickly begin guzzling what the contents are inside of it. A bit of red juice kind of running down his mouth as he quickly begins to scarf it down. Okay. And I think that will be his turn. Unless... Oh. Do I want to do that? No, I do not. Okay, that will be his turn, so we're to Rolly. As I find another D20.
Rolly will be at 26 in that case.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot I have to, Okay. Oh,
No.
you took damage, so concentration.
Oh, that's right.
Con saving throw.
10.
Just has to beat a 10, yeah.
He does.
Damn. Well, it is what he's supposed to be good at, so. Okay, so. Yes, what is Rolly doing, sir?
So he's fine. He doesn't need to do any saving throws. I think Rolly would call out to the First Mother, pull a spectral bell from the ground, and ring it with his warhammer, and cast Toll of the Dead.
Okay.
Wisdom of 16.
Saves.
Saves? Okay.
Is that half damage or is that no damage?
Must succeed or take. So, no damage.
Okay. So Rolly, after getting a nice hard hit on his shoulder, kind of shrinking him down a little bit, kind of bring him to one knee, begins trying to like pull forth the bell, hoping to push forth the energy that he pulled from the other day. And as you hear it ring out, every bell is met with Hormtar's chuckle. It goes, bong, bong, as it seems to have no effect.
And then the spiritual weapon would attack.
Go for it.
19. Yeah.
That is a hit.
And what was the... Plus 5. Oh, I rolled it.
So,
okay.
13.
13.
That's fine. Okay. So yeah, as like Rolly is banging, desperately trying to get his bell to deal some damage, the spiritual weapon begins like swinging into Hormtar's gut, kind of leaving small bruises in the furry abs that he has. But that's all you got, Rolly?
I believe so.
Okay, so we are to you, Valoran.
Alright, seems like a good opportunity to box him in. Can I get advantage on attacking him?
Yes, you can. Give me a athletics saving throw, or athletics check. No, strength saving throw. Sorry, I'm reading this wrong. Strength saving throw. Damn it. Okay, you hit, sir.
I did hit? Okay, cool.
Yes, you hit.
There's number 1.
Okay.
And attack number 2.
You got more? Yep.
That's what
That
I'll probably
is... Yeah, that's a miss.
Alright, and the bonus.
That's hit.
And I'll do a level 1 smite with this as well.
Okay.
Not great.
Okay, so that's 9, 17, 21, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you want to do this, Valoran?
For real?
For real.
Oh,
it's almost like
man.
you nuked half his health in one attack.
So hitting with that first attack opens a stripe across his back.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine that Hormtar turns to face the source of this pain. And so Valoran whips the cap end of the glaive around after missing that second attack. And Hormtar's thinking, that's not even the sharp bit. And so catches it in his gut. But as he does, the smite goes off and it sounds like a brass bell falling on a bunch of celery. And he folds up on it like a skateboarder on a stair rail. And, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Valoran, you let loose an attack, and you hear that instinctual kind of pain cry ring out in the room again as Hormtar looks around, and he tries to like body slam you a little bit as he feels that he's being surrounded, but you're able to kind of like keep your footing as you dodge to the side, but it does make your second attack miss, but you're not quite done as you swing the staff end of your polearm around, connecting with his midsection where it already kind of been beaten and bloodied by the spiritual weapon, and you feel the rod hit, and Hormtar kind of like leans into you a little like, and as he does, you bring forth the power you wield from your family, and you shove it further, and you hear this distinct crunching sound as you shove the pillar of your staff farther up, kind of lifting this massive behemoth of a man up a little bit before you kind of fling him back with the weight, and you see the life kind of leaving his eyes as he's flying backwards, hitting the ground, hitting a pillar, kind of scraping against the floor, letting out one more lifeless breath as he throws his sword to the side and is finally defeated. Upon him dying, I just threw my last d20 off the table. We'll go with they fail. As he lands and dies, the gnolls that had just entered the room and the gnolls still trying to pour in behind them see this leader that they had followed through various battles and wars and trials and tribulations, fallen and defeated on the ground. This band of adventurers laying amongst a bunch of their slain kin turn tail and run, beginning to flee. And as they begin to flee, you see armor-clad men jumping over the walls of the courtyard, coming in and beginning to square off with the gnolls trying to flee, taking them down. And that's where we're going to end today's session.